Are we going?
You are live.
Awesome. Hey, hello, hey gang. Welcome to this speed run of Jet Set Willy in any percent. I'm Ruffle Bricks, and I am joined on backing vocals, or probably lead vocals in this run, by someone I like to call the Mighty Duck. It is Digital Duck.
Hello, again.
Yes, indeed. Little thing that you just get to see, a little bit of a peek behind the scenes before we start the run, is that there's a little cheat that I use, a little glitch, to make Willy ever so slightly closer to the first item, which is I start a game before I start the run and just move him a few pixels to the right until he gets here, and that gives us a 0.25 second boost in the run. So here we are with the title screen. I'm not going to stay on this too long because it does have flashing lights and catastrophic noises on it at some point. But here we go. We are going to start the run in 3, 2, 1. And off we trot. So grabbing the bathroom tap, which is the first of 83 items that Willy has to grab in this run. The plot of the game is that Willy is now living in a mansion, and he threw a big party last night, and his housekeeper Maria needs him to collect those 83 items that his party goers have left around the house before he can go to bed. So going to bed is going to be the aim of this run, and this is we're starting off pretty much hitting the ground running in terms of difficulty here, so I'm going to let Duck take over for the majority of commentary for this section.
Yeah, so the first thing you're going to see here is a death warp. Whenever you die in any room, you will be teleported back to the state at which you entered the room. So if you have to go all the way into a room and then come back to exit, usually it's easier to just die because it saves the return journey. You'll just walk there instantly. But it is worth noting that we do have a limited number of lives, so we probably won't be doing that too often.
Yes, usually in an optimum run we would be doing 6 death warps plus a mandatory death that we will point out when we get there. In this run, probably going to keep it to around 3 depending on how we go. So, because it's a very hard run, there's not many fallback options in this game, so yeah, we just have to just having to be a little bit parsimonious in terms of what we can show of this run on this stream. So do you want to talk a little bit about the route that we're taking here, Duck?
Yeah, so we've actually got different routes for different categories, but the route we're taking here will take us through the kitchens up to the banyan tree. We need to take quite a wide back and forth through the kitchen in order to get up to the banyan tree, but this is the only way to collect the item there. We're then going to go up through the main bulk of the house into the west bedroom area, and then we're going to go underground all throughout the entire length of the world to clear the whole of the bottom area, and then come back and do the top. And it sounds like a long roundabout way of doing things, but it's actually the shortest route that we know of.
Yes. So it's an open world game. We should talk about the nightmare room, by the way, while we're here. Do you want to go, Duck?
Yeah, there's so you'll notice we haven't actually seen Maria in her natural habitat, but here we're seeing her times 6. These are illusions created by Willy, presumably in his slightly hungover / drunk state. But Willy also turns into a flying pig in that room.
But cannot fly, unfortunately.
Cannot fly, yeah. He's a grounded flying pig. He's had his wings clipped.
So here's a bit of tree, and this is where we first start getting into the potential for instant game over territory. But we'll talk about that in a moment, because the conservatory roof is a very interesting room, Duck.
Yes, we have one item here on the far left that we must die to collect. There is no other way to collect that item other than by dying. There is also the item on the far right, which in the original release of this game was impossible to collect because there was a nasty right beside it, and there was no way of actually jumping into it. We're playing on a patched version of the game which fixes that bug and 3 others, which we will probably go into as they come about.
Yeah, we already passed one of them as well. That was, oh dear, that's a red F in the orangery there. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful going forward. What was I going to say? I can't even remember.
Oh, the banyan tree.
Yes, that's right.
The banyan tree, in the original version of the game, it was impossible to pass the banyan tree from the right-hand side upwards, or from either side upwards actually. But it was impossible to go upwards because of the arrangement of the blocks. They were actually solid, which wouldn't let you go past them, and that has now been changed in this version.
Yes. So swimming pool, interesting little glitch there. I ended up visiting it twice. That was an accident. But the astute viewer may have noticed that the item collection sound went off the moment we went into that room, and that is because there's a glitch in the game, one that wasn't fixed by the patch, where the rope actually collects the item on your behalf, because the items are programmed to be collected by anything white. Hence, so Willy is white, hence if he walks into an item, he collects it. However, the rope in the swimming pool was also white, so to collect the item in the swimming pool, you literally just need to enter the room, and the rope will do it for you.
Yeah, and it wasn't fixed by the official patch, because the official patch is literally just a set of 4 pokes, which is the barest minimum you need to do to the game in order to make it completable.
Yeah, it's a pretty perfunctory set of fixes that I think were just kind of like rushed out, and then some of the less game-breaking glitches remained intact in here. Now, here's a room that we would normally def warp in an any % run, but I'm not going to on this occasion, because you actually get to see how the rope physics work. And actually, I'm going to take another run up at that, because I think I was just slightly too late. So here we are, and oh my goodness me, right, I think, so fortunately I have prepared some save states for this run, which I think we are going to need to dip into at some point soon. Was hoping this would be my makeup session for yesterday, but for Manic Miner yesterday, but it appears once again the nerves are slightly getting to me. But here we are. What we would normally do is just yeah, I can't talk and do this bit. You go on, Duck.
Yeah, so there is a death warp we take there with the rope. If you can jump off the rope at just the right time, you can actually fall past the items and collect them as you fall, and then you die hitting the ground. And it saves was about 5 or 6 seconds over the normal route.
Yes.
And it also means we take a death as well. We haven't actually talked about how the lives make an effect on speed.
No, we haven't. So the fewer lives that you have, the faster the game runs. So in any % run, not only are you wanting to do your death warps with all your spare lives, but you actually want to try and do them as early in the run as possible, so that a larger % of the game actually runs ever so slightly quicker. Now, I hope no one minds, but actually I do have a save state sort of set up here, and I do want to actually load that in, just because I think I am going to need more lives going forward than the ones I've got. Duck, would you say that was a tactical idea? Or do you think I should carry on for the moment?
Carry on, and then...
Alright, there we are. Fair enough.
While it's still a valid run, keep it going. And then...
Yeah. Okay, so let's... here comes my favourite strat in the game. Let's see if we can get it right. It is... Oop, and there we are. Do you want to talk about what just happened there, Duck?
Yeah, so basically, each room has its own exits determined. So you've got your overall map. You can see which is left, which is right, which is above, which is below. But they are defined on a per room basis. And above the beach is actually the beach again. And normally that's not a thing that matters, because you can't actually go above the top of the beach. The rope does stop you from climbing all the way to the top. But if you jump at just the right time, you can clip through get above the top of the screen, and it will warp you to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
To the bottom of the screen that is above it, which happens to be obviously the beach.
Yeah, it's a nice little glitch, which I remember I read about. I initially thought you could only do it in a room later on in the run. But again, as we mentioned yesterday, Muska did a algorithm kind of deep dive on the game recently to find all the fastest strats in the game, and he actually found that really nice rope warp on the beach, and that's another unfortunate death there. So we are looking very, very clutch for this one, especially at this part of the run. So actually, Amy, this does give me a chance to show off. Well, it might do. Let's see how we go here. There we go. This gives me a chance to show off a slightly alternative route for the wine cellar, which not many people know about, but it's a nice sort of safe strat that you can do, because it can be a bit. The last section can be pretty scary if you do it on the timing that we would normally do on this level. But instead, if you just nip into the Forgotten Abbey halfway through the room like that, then you actually end up resetting the cycles of the enemies, and it makes this jump over the saw just well, a fair bit more easy to do than it would be normally, because otherwise the green monk would normally be in a particularly inopportune position there. Now this is a very scary room.
This is a room that speaks for itself, really. You've got lots of enemies and very little chance to avoid any of them.
Yes. And here's our favourite enemies down the bottom, the Teletubbies. And here is the moment of truth. And it lied, apparently, so we're going to have to open up our save states there. Where are they? Quick. Come on, it's a speed run. So the last one I had was the yacht, basically. So we're going to have to do a little bit of the run again. I'm going to reload that one because I did not want that jump to happen either. So this is a horrible jump, by the way, this one. We didn't get a chance to talk about it before. But that jump off the rope there, or the slope rather, you have 2 pixels to get that right, basically. And if
you don't get much leeway on it.
Don't get much leeway, and you don't have any strong visual cues for it compared to a lot of other jumps in the game. So, Toolshed, by the way, is another room that we would death warp normally in the run, and it's actually the most effective death warp in the game, because you get 20 seconds saved as a result of doing that. You simply just fall onto the item from the top, but I'm doing the non-death warp version for this run, just because I think we need all the lives we can get. And is this shortcut in the back door as well? Back door is actually quite a barren room for the most part, but clipping through that slope there and going onto that conveyor belt is a nice little way of saving a little bit of time in going down to the wine cellar. So let's try this again. We'll see if we can avoid getting clipped by Pink Monk this time. And the change of route, yeah, just noticed Tim is saying we get to see the beach glitch again, and that's the main reason that I took a death, actually, if I'm honest. I just wanted to do that as many times as I could. I'm going to do the safe strat on the wine cellar again. It is not as fast as just doing the wine cellar all in one go, but it is definitely safe. And if you see the jump that we did or tried to do on Tinky Winky in the Forgotten Abbey, then basically it's a very similar jump to that, like just 2 enemies kind of one above each other with a very kind of narrow gap to actually jump through. And that can be very intimidating for new players to the game. So I suggest this route as a kind of alternative if you want to kind of like still want to go relatively fast in the room, but don't want to have to deal with all that malarkey. So here they are again. And I always call the 2 monks in the middle of this Jack and Meg White as well, but that doesn't seem to have caught on quite as much. Any theories?
I think the Teletubbies are just more my level.
That's yes. True. Right, let's have another go. So over we go, past Lala. They're out of sequence as well, that doesn't help. And there we are, see, so that's what we were going for, and then you have to do a right jump over Dipsy, past Poe, and out we go. And you do not want to fall down that gap in the middle of a run, because that leads to entrance to Hades. It's which is an instant game over if you fall down there.
Yeah, so as we talked about before, if you die in a room, you will be teleported back to the state which you entered the room. Unfortunately, that means if you fall into a room, you'll be when you land and die, you will be put back into falling into the room. So any room you fall into from a great height or onto an enemy, you'll see that happen over and over again until you lose all of your lives.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there I was trying to go for the quick strat and the tree route there, where you actually go under the jelly and get the item straight away, but did not manage it. So we have to go to backup cycles on this one. And actually, I feel... Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Like, the skull cycle was just slightly... Oh, my goodness. I think we're in trouble here. Okay, because we've missed that item. Right, so...
Take a death. Oh, no.
No, I know what we can do. I think I know what we can do. We're going to have to go round again. No, we can't. That's... oh, no. We're going to have to do the save state again. Oh, goodness me. I wasn't expecting it to go this wrong. Oh, wait, no. Actually, we've got a save state for tree route. So, there we are. All right. So, you're seeing kind of a kind of IKEA flat pack version of this run, everyone. This is basically just kind of like... This would be a kind of complete run normally, but instead I'm kind of giving you the pieces of it and you can kind of mentally put them all together yourself.
Every time you load a state, you should just say, "Here's one I made earlier."
Yeah, it's a drinking game, chat. Every time I load a save state, take a drink. Under the drive, by the way, is probably one of the worst rooms in the game. It has a pixel perfect jump that you need to get in order to get to land on that last platform as you go past it, and there's no other way around it, sadly.
Not even casually.
No. So here's the bridge. Slight problem with the name of that room. If you didn't spot it beforehand, you get another chance to see that in a bit, because this is kind of a dead end section of the run. And here's the off license. This is another room that we would normally death warp in the run, if we were doing a kind of normal any percent run of this. But instead we're going for the slightly safer version, avoiding this radar here, who is one of the more vigilant shopkeepers around these parts. And yeah, we go back into the bridge there. Yeah, see if you can spot what's missing from the bridge. Oh no! Okay, that was an odd thing there. So there's like I used the semicolon button to do left jumps for this, and the button next to it in order to do right jumps for it. But the semicolon button actually failed there, and I think that does happen occasionally. We're playing this on emulator, just to be clear. Also, apologies for those noises, gang. I think I've left the Jet Set Willy Manic Miner forum open on a tab somewhere. so some people have been reacting to a post that I made. Anyway, let's talk about the Mega Tree. Duck?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't much to say about this other than the fast route requires a lot of pixel perfect jumps if you're going to get through it all, but it's not that hard in comparison to a lot of the other rooms.
Yeah,
if you miss, you do die.
Yeah, it's the whole Mega Tree itself. Actually, this has improved a lot recently. We've had a bunch of new strats for this, including this right here, the Cuckoo's Nest. This used to involve a very tough strat where you had to do pixel perfect movement, where you move 2 pixels within under half a second. I think it was about half a second, wasn't it, Doug?
Something like that, yeah.
To dodge all 3 of the enemies there. But a very talented runner called Mick Joe has actually found quite a few nice new strats for this run in the last few months, and that Cuckoo's Nest strat is one of them. It's completely transformed the room. It's so much nicer now than it was before. Also, this is a relatively recent discovery as well. This treetop route is one we came up with quite recently, and again, it's just quicker and safer than what we had before. And here is Out on a Limb. Do you want to talk about this death warp?
Yeah, this is my favourite death warp, I think, because it's a it's one which saves a lot of annoying jumping. It's not that fast in comparison to a lot of the others, but it does mean you don't have to jump your way around this mess.
It's actually, I think we calculated it. It was about 11 seconds or something. We saved,
Around about that, yeah.
yeah, we used to def warp either Cuckoo's Nest or Under the Megatree, but we did I did a deep dive on the def warp time saves recently, and both of them saved 9 seconds. They're pretty much equivalent. I think maybe the Under the Megatree was ever so slightly quicker. But so we've done a bit of rerouting with this recently, and we got stair clipping. That's always fun. Stair clips. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the stair clips kind of work in this game? Because actually, stairs and slopes are a kind of new thing for Jet Set Willy compared to Manic Miner.
Yes, the stairs, they might not actually look like it, but they're actually a series of blocks the same way as everything else is. But if you walk into them, you'll walk up them like they are stairs. But if you jump into them and you clip between blocks, you will actually go through the stairs. And this is a completely intended mechanic. Like you can't complete the game without doing it. But it's not as reliable as you might think. You do have to. You can only clip through from certain places in certain positions.
Yeah,
it depends on how you jump into it.
Yeah, and that stair clip at the bottom of Megatree is kind of like you have to kind of nail that if you want to get that strat. Otherwise, like you just have to pause and you run behind the saw rather than the head of it. Here's an item. Duck, do you want to talk about that item that we just collected there?
It's a completely invisible item, and it was completely in the original release of the game. It was also completely invisible, but it was in the first landing, and it was in a position where it was impossible to collect. As always, the smallest fix possible has been applied, and putting it in the hall means you probably collect it without even realizing it as you go to collect the front door item.
Yes.
It is possible to jump over it, but it's very difficult, and you kind of have to know where it is. And why would you want to?
Yes, exactly. So here's probably one of the last main scary parts of the run, the east wall. So, Duck, I'm going to hand this one over to you while I try and focus on this.
Yeah, so throughout the whole of the east wall section, basically, if you fall off a platform, you will be caught in an infinite death loop and die. And especially that slope that you just saw him jump onto is also a conveyor belt. And if you neglect to jump off it, you will go careening down the side and again lose all of your lives instantly.
Yeah, now we were going for a 2 cycle on Priest's Hole here, which would have been achieved by doing these first 4 jumps in one go before the priest head came back down. I didn't quite get the 4th jump right, so I've had to wait a cycle, and that's a fair time loss in a normal run. I would probably would have reset for that if that happened, but that's kind of more just a testament to how quick we've got the run now. That was the only Pink Floyd album cover in the game, by the way. The emergency generator is a reference to Pink Floyd's Animals, and here's an elephant. Why is this elephant here, Duck?
Oh, nobody knows.
No.
That's the answer. Even Dr. Jones doesn't believe it.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the attic. There's a lot of lore behind this room, isn't there?
Yeah, the attic is an infamous room, and the main reason why there was a patch to Jet Set Willy in the first place. In the original version of the game, the second arrow you saw there neglected to actually stop moving once it hit the side of the screen, and it would continue past the screen memory into the game's memory and corrupt it. And most rooms would be impossible to access after that happened. It would simply kill Willy instantly whenever he entered them. And the original developers tried to pass it off as though it was an intentional part of the game. They literally said it's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yes. Poison gas appearing in
gas in the rooms, yes.
We just did the other ceiling clip there, by the way. Doesn't save as much time as the beach one does. It saves about half a second. If you're wondering why that saves half a second, it's because... Oh, goodness me, that was close. It's It pushes the rope slightly further forward in its cycle, meaning that you can get out of the room quicker. Now, Watchtower, I'm going to need to... Actually, do you know what? We've got a couple of lives spare thanks to those save states. So I'm actually going to Death Warp this one, just to show you. This Death Warp actually wouldn't be in an any % run. This is actually a Death Warp that we would use in Warpless, which is another category for the run. And it's a completely different route to any %. So because of that, the Death Warps are slightly different because we do the runes in a different order.
Yeah, all of the categories have completely different routes. Just by consequence of how they are. Like the fastest route for each one is completely different.
And in Warpless, we would not be using a trick we're about to use, which is jumping through the ceiling there, which will warp us down to Ballroom East, I believe, unintended mechanism in the original. Here's my other Death Warp I'm going to use there. And I just need to focus on this strat here. Right, so if I do 2 jumps, based on the position that I just jumped into Ballroom East in, we should be able to clear all these skulls in one run. There we go. That's another Mick Joe strat there. Very happy for him for him to find that. And Ballroom West. Just need to. There we go. Oof! Wow. Okay. Well, we got the items, but I wasn't like it got both items in that one jump there, but got slightly scared by the blue skull there, so I just went back on myself anyway. But that is more or less the run. Now we've got 82 items. The only one left is that top landing light. There's been some debate over whether you should get that top landing light at the beginning or the end of the run, and it actually depends on which run you do. If you're doing any %, then you should do it at the end. But if you're doing a max lives run, then I think you should do it at the beginning. I think that's the way around, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's faster to do it in terms of number of frames. It's faster to do it at the start, but because you've got less lives, it's usually faster to do it at the end, unless you're doing a max lives run.
So now I'm no longer in control of Willie. He touched the bed, but he's feeling a little sick, and he's running to the bathroom. And time is going to be when he goes into the toilet, which is now. So we got there. We got to the end of it, despite a few hiccups along the way, but that's pretty much any % speed run of Jet Set Willy. Duck, anything you want to add about that?
Well, we got to the end.
yeah, this is true.
I mean, in comparison, the first time I played this, it took a lot longer than this and a lot more lives, and very often it still does take me more lives than this to beat it. It's not an easy game at all.
Yeah, it's pretty darn difficult, but hopefully this has given you a good flavour of what the run should look like, and I believe it's we will be, well actually I know that Duck and I are going to be back not too far off doing another run of this game head to head against each other, so look forward to that. But for now I'm going to hand it over back to Tricro, and we've got Chucky Eggnett.
3, 2, 1, transition. You're live.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back. You're watching the UKSG ZX Spectrum Marathon. My name is TinyTim78, and I'm going to be doing a blast from the past here, an absolute Spectrum classic. We've had Jet Set Willy, and what's one good platformer without another? We're going to have a Chucky Egg for you just now. So what I'm going to do, before I even start the run, I'm going to reset it here so we get to experience the wonderful music that this game allows. And it's the only actual piece of music in the game. So here we go. Let's get going. There's the game. I wonder if anybody recognises the music there. Okay, so here we go then. This is Chucky Egg. This is a 1984 ZX Spectrum platformer. It was originally on the BBC Micro. This was a very common game on the BBC Micro. But this is the Spectrum version. And I love this game. This was, again, one of the games that I grew up with. I played it an awful lot as a child, together with Manic Miner. Never finished it, but this game, I've got an excuse, because you can't finish it. This game has an infinite ending. So, with that in mind, the category we'll be running this evening is level 16, which basically means, technically, time will stop on level 16. So what I'll do, Tricro, is I will shout the time on once I complete level 16. However, we do have quite a generous estimate for this. So what I intend to do is keep going. And I intend to keep going for as long as I can get away with, basically. My best in this game is about level 24, 25. But I should be able to get to about that, maybe. We'll see. Somewhere in the mid-20s, I would expect to get to. So once I get past level 16, I'm happy. That's what I'm aiming to do. But theoretically, I may be able to get a bit further than that. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. So, this was also a multiplayer game, by the way. You could have up to 4 players, not continuously. You'd have to swap back and forth on the same computer. But, yeah, so we're just going to play 1 player, and we are going to get started. So, this game then. I control Henhouse Harry in his wonderful dapper hat here, and the objective of each screen is you have to control Henhouse Harry, and you've got to run around the henhouse picking up all the eggs. There are a dozen eggs on each screen that you have to collect. Now, unfortunately, these eggs are not on their own. They are being guarded by our wonderful friends here, these blue chickens, or Chuckies as I like to call them. The Chucky egg of the title. And basically, this is relatively straightforward, as you can see, level 1 at the moment. You've also got these little purple bits here, which is the little bits of corn. And that corn there is basically allows you extra bonus points, and it will also stop the timer. We have a timer at the top right hand corner there, and basically, let me 2 seconds while I do something here. Just there we go. Sorry about that. Right, okay, there we go. Right, and here you go. So, the movement in this game is very, very, very quick, as you can see. And you think, oh, this is quite easy. The first couple of levels are easy. I mean, the first couple of levels are relatively straightforward. I mean, this one's more complicated than the first one, but it's still quite easy. Now, this level is where things get a bit harder. Because here we have the dreaded lifts. And when I was a child, this was the level that myself and members of my family could never get past, because we could never get these lifts. I'm going to quickly steal that Chucky's egg there, and then I'm going to come along here. But these days I have, it was close, got the hang of the lifts. So once you get the hang of the lifts, they're not too bad. But all the levels of the game, apart from the first 2 and level 8, have lifts in them. So you need to be able to accommodate the lifts, get used to the lifts. Okay, I've done a bit of a... That's fine, I'll come all the way back down. Now then, this is going to be interesting. We're going to go over here. We're going to drop down here, grab that little bit of corn. The corn is quite useful because it gives you points. And it also stops the timer. As I say, the timer's at the top right there. And the more time that's left when you complete a level, the bigger a bonus score you get. Every 10,000 points, you get an extra life. And at the moment, it isn't so much of an issue. But later on, it will become very, very useful and very, very important. And I will also start stacking up a lot of extra lives later on. Ooh, nearly ran right up at Chucky. That would have been very unpleasant. Right, okay, so as you can see, this game is pretty tricky. I wouldn't say this was as difficult a game as Jet Set Willy. We've just seen Jet Set Willy, and that game is definitely harder than this, in my opinion. But Oh, no, I'm dead. There we go. That's the first death, which is a shame. It's very, very easy to mistime these jumps. This game is nowhere near as precise as Jet Set Willy either. So from a sort of pixel perfect perspective and jumping perspective, etc., this game is a lot more difficult than Jet Set Willy, because Jet Set Willy is more precise. But in terms of overall difficulty, Jet Set Willy is definitely a harder game. Right, there we go. We can get under him now and get that. Oh, no. I forgot there was an egg at the top left. I thought, well, I can get that egg, and as soon as you get the final egg, the level ends. So this is going a little bit pear-shaped at the moment, but we will see. We will still get there. Now, unfortunately, I've got to wait for this Chucky to get out of my way. That's the other problem with this, is that you are reliant on patterns and stuff. Got to be a bit careful here. Avoid that big digital duck up the top left there. Right, okay, here we go. So this is level 5. This is where things are starting to really ramp up a bit now. Level 4 is a bit... Oh, okay. Now that is a new one. There's your not ever happened before moment. I don't actually think I've ever seen that happen. But, hey, apart from costing me a life, it's fine. Right, I'm getting a little worried about my lives now, which is a bit of a shame. I was doing quite well early on, and it's gone a bit pear-shaped. But never mind. We'll get there. Oh, dear. Ugh. Right, okay. This is going very, very poorly, which is a bit of a shame. Let's just keep going. I might have to restart, which means we will only get level 16. Assuming I can get there. Because this is being an absolute pain at the moment. I managed this in practice and it was going quite well. But today, it's misbehaving slightly. It's just... Ugh! Yeah. This is just not happening. This is not happening. Right, okay. Disappointing, but never mind. Let's just keep going. I'm not dead yet. We're nearly there though, unfortunately. Which is a bit of a pain. Again, as you can perhaps see, this game ain't easy. It's not... Oh, there we go. That's it. Right, okay. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to go for another game. And we'll just keep going. Keep the timer going. Unfortunately... we should be able to get through to that again, but as I say, I'll only be able to get as far as level 16, so we'll probably have to stop when we reach that far, assuming we reach that far. So, this allows me to talk a little bit about the game again, about the physics. As I said earlier, the game came out in 1984, programmed by Nigel Alderton, and it was originally on the BBC Micro, I believe, was the first version of the game. And this is the Spectrum version, but the BBC one was very, very common, very well known. And this was a very popular game for the time. Very, very popular game. Oh, come on, Chuckies. Right, there we go. That's fine. Now, as I said at the beginning as well, this game does not end. It has an infinite end, basically. It just keeps repeating itself. So it keeps going round and round and round and round. So, you will see that, I hope, when I reach the appropriate level. Oh, come on. Trying to get that there. And there we go. That's better. As you can see, a lot of the stuff I'm doing here is quite tricky, is quite quick. And it's very, very easy to get it wrong. But the speed it goes, if you think at the moment, you think, oh, it's going quite quickly. Well, this is nothing compared to what it's like later on. This game, believe it or not, despite the fact I haven't been able to get past level 5 yet, gets more difficult as it goes along. The first loop, as we call it, the first 8 levels, are tame compared to the later levels. Very tame. And you will see, it really starts ramping up. I mean, this is difficult enough at this point. And you've got to be pretty on the ball to get this at this point. Once it gets past level 8, things change. And we will discuss that when we get there, which hopefully we will. Oh dear. Really landed on that Chucky's noggin. That would have been very, very unpleasant. Face-to-face encounter. Oh, there we go. Like I said as well, comparing it to other platform games of the time, its engine is quite distinct. It's certainly not anywhere near as good technically as Jet Set Willy or Manic Miner. And as a result, you can get all sorts of funny things going on, like that crash in the corner on level 5 there. I've never seen that before. That's very, very unusual. Ah, there we go. There we go. Fall to my death, which, as you can see, is also very easy. So, yep. I'm sure nobody would think it, but this game is not easy. Right, okay, back to level 4. We're doing all right. We're actually doing better this second time around. Let's see if we can get through here without losing a life this time. This isn't a particularly difficult level. Oh, dear. The problem in this level is that egg at the bottom. That egg at the bottom left. That's the most difficult egg in the level. Oh, cool. I nearly jumped into the duck again. That would have been very, very bad. Right. Always used to call that duck when I was little the mad duck, but now I call it the digital duck. Right. Okay, now then, if I'm quick here, I can do that, do that, do that. Ah! Oh dear. Right, there we go, there we go, there we go. Hey! Right, okay. Okay. Looking a little better now, just a little. Not a lot, but a little. Right, didn't go flying into the corner that time. There we go, that's better. Right, here we go then. Oh dear. Come on, Chucky, get out my way. Go, I'll have that off you, and I'll have that off you. Oh dear, yeah, sitting there was a bad idea. Yeah, that was biting off more than I could chew there, I'm afraid. Right. Okay, so we're doing all right. This is definitely better than the last time round. I'm a little happier with this now. It's a shame that we had to restart, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. These games are very, very much of their time. They're very much designed to... Oh, dear. Oh, wow, I got lucky there. Woohoo! That was cool. I like that. Up! Bottoms! Not the second time. Yeah, bounced off the platform there. That egg is probably the most difficult egg in this level to get. That egg on the right-hand side there. A lot of these eggs... one of the things I do find funny about these eggs is the gravity-defying positions that some of them are in. Not quite sure how the Chuckies managed to get over there to lay those eggs, but hey... There we go, got it. Right. Okay, here we go. Level 6 this time. This is where things really start to ramp up now. Level 6, 7 and 8 are unpleasant, to say the least. So, we've got some gravity-defying eggs in here again. Some severely gravity-defying eggs. Right, okay. I'm going to have to concentrate on this one. This is where it gets really quite unpleasant. Hopefully I should be able to get past this without too much bother. Once I get past this one... once I get past this set... Once I get past level 8, I should be good for a while. And there's a reason why. I'll explain why when we get there. That's a pain. It's a pain to miss that egg. That egg is probably the most difficult one to get in this level. That one or the one below it, which I got earlier. These are pretty precision jumps here. Right, okay. This top section isn't too bad, but Chuckies can get in the way. So, excellent. He's going all the way down that ladder there. That's perfect. Ah, no. Oh, that's a shame. I had that right and I screwed it up. Yeah, we're getting close on lives again. It's a surprise, actually. Normally, I don't have too many problems with this first section. It's normally later on that it gives me the issues. But anyway, what we have to do now is wait for this Chuck to go up the top. And once he's out of my way, come on, Mr. Chucky, there you go. That's fine, nice. And we can go down here, we can go down here, and then we can go here, like that. Always have to get that life, that egg at the end, otherwise you lose a life when going for it. So you always leave that one till last. Right, here we go, level 7. Again, very difficult sort of platform layout here. One of the harder levels again. I'm just going to grab that egg while I'm there. I'm going to go down here and grab that egg while I'm there, and grab that egg while I'm there. And there you go, go. Again, that egg at the bottom there, I'm going to wait for. And I'm going to hope I don't hit a Chucky. Yeah, I knew I was going to hit him. It wasn't really... It was a choice between jumping there, getting hit by the Chucky at the top, or getting squashed against the roof with a lift. Which can happen, by the way. Which is something I've been trying to avoid, but it can indeed happen. Right, okay, I've only got 2 lives left, so I really, really want to try and not screw this up again now. I will be quite upset with myself if I screw this up from here. Right, okay. So what I can do now is do this, do this. There we go. That's good. That's good. Come on. Come on, lift. There we go. We've got it. We've got it now. We've got it. So we just go up here, down there, and whee! Okay, level 8. Now then. Notice I've just got picked up an extra life there, which is great because I'm needing it. Right, okay, so if I can get through this level, we're then on to the second run, which is going to be very, very interesting. Now, the first thing you'll notice about this level is we've got gravity-defying eggs, which is very, very challenging because you can't just jump straight at them. You've got to jump at them from a very particular position, and you've got to generally bounce yourself off or get yourself right in the right angle to get them, and it is a bit of a pain. This Chucky in the middle here as well is an absolute pain because he's basically a gatekeeper for the entire section because you can't get up without getting past this guy. So he is a real pain. Oh, there we go. That was good though. That's quite a nice clean collection of those first few eggs actually. But as I say, this guy is an absolute pain because you have to wait for him to get out of your way every time you want to go up to the rest of the level. You can't actually get up to the rest of the level without going up this ladder in the middle. So you have to wait for Mr. Chuck to get out of the way. There we go. That's nice. And of course, he's deciding to turn around again. Lovely, lovely. Come on, go up the ladder. No. Right, okay. Now, I did mention the time limit. You've got a 999 time limit on every level. This is the only level in the game pretty much that, well, there's one later on, maybe. But this is one where time is going to be an issue. This is about the only level where time can be an issue, potentially. Oh, go away, come on. And you've got to wait for him to get out the way, and then hopefully he'll go the other side. Nope, he's going to go back up the ladder. Lovely. There he goes. Right, okay. They're not RNG, by the way. They have got a pattern. But again, they are effectively RNG. From our perspective. Right, so this little clusters of eggs at the top here is where things get fun because we can only, I'm going to try and get as many of them in one go as I can. I like to save, oh dear, I wanted to save that one because you have to come back up, but it actually worked out there. Come on, Chucky, please don't do that. Oh, yeah, right. This is going to be really tight on time. Ah, there we go. He's out of my way. Right, okay. So, I should be all right now because what I can do is get these two. And then all I need to do now is for him to go up to the right. Come on, Mr. Chucky. Oh, right, come on. Out of my way. Right, that's better. Okay, okay. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Right. Ah, no, what? Oh, dear. Sorry for this shouting. I completely got the wrong direction there and jumped into Digital Duck. So, hi Digital Duck. Right, okay. So, that's not so good. That's really, really not good. The good news with that, however, is it does mean that I've now got more time. I'm not going to run out of time now. And, yeah, I can definitely finish this level now. So, I'm just going to have to do this as quickly as I can. I should have taken the opportunity to go up there, but he was up the ladder. There we go. Got it now. Right, now then. So I've got to do two things here. I've got to make sure I do not go right into the duck this time. Oh, come on. There we go. That's it. Right, there we go. There we go. Okay, finally. Once that Chucky gets out of my way, I will... Oh, no, I'm not going to risk that. Oh, come on, Mr. Chucky. Make up your mind. Right, come on. There we... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Come on, I want to get rid of this stupid level. There we go, got it. Okay, this is where the game begins. This is level 9. Once you complete a run, you go back to level 1 with one slight problem. Hello, Ducky. Here she comes. We have the duck chasing us. And this is where the game picks up. This is where the game goes from, oh, it's moderately difficult, to, I hope you're good at this. Because now you will have this duck chasing you the entire time. So basically what you have to do is the same again. Ooh, dodge the duck there. The duck's hitbox, by the way, is the collision detection's poor. So you can get away with, as long as you know where the duck's sort of hitbox is generally only on its head, its beak. So as long as you can go underneath its bottom half with most of the time, not always, but most of the time, if you know what you're aiming for. So, but as you can see, this is where things get a little frantic. And this, by the way, is not as frantic as it gets. It gets worse later. So we're going to, hello ducky, there you go. I'll bring you up here. Right, okay. You'll also notice that my lives are going up leaps and bounds because I am actually completing the levels very, very quickly now because there's no Chuckies in the way. So I'm completing the levels a lot quicker than I was before. So as a result, I'm getting more time bonus. So I'm getting more score and more extra lives, which is very, very good. And I've got a duck after me. Yeah. Oh, that was terrible. That was a bad jump. Right, come on, duck, stay out my way. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ah! Right. Okay, about to be ducked. There we go. Right, okay, there you go. Okay. I am going to lose a few lives here. Yeah, there we go. I'll lose the odd one or two. Some levels are quite tricky because I'm really, really difficult. I'm really, really difficult with... oops, what's the word? It's the layout is more of the problem. You're constrained. Some levels are easier than others. Levels with lifts are generally a pain. Right, I'm just going to do this. Just go up here like this and do this, do this, do this. There you go. But again, I pick up a lot of points, which can generally help me with the life situation. So this level is a lot easier actually with the duck because you do not have to deal with that stupid egg in the bottom right-hand corner. And you can also jump straight from the top through the duck cage to that egg there, which is really good. There we go. This one is generally not too bad. And you can actually jump across that gap, though it is a little tricky. Oh, that was bad. I missed that jump. That was a real pain. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Ah! Oh, no. I mean, that's a pain. Was doing well there and then ended up in the hole. Which kind of sucks. But we're doing all right. We're doing okay. Okay, come on. Let's get this one this time. There you go. Right. Perfect. Okay, level 5. Again, this one starts to become quite a challenge. This one does become a bit of a challenge. Oh, dear. Come on, ducky. I'm going to try it this way. The problem is it's very, very difficult to avoid not losing a life on this one because of the duck. But come on, duck. Nope, that was a pain. Yeah, I'm about to get ducked here. Yeah. That last egg, as I say, is an absolute pain to get to. It's not easy. And when you've got a duck chasing you, it's even more unpleasant. Right, come on, duck. There we go. That's it. Come on. Let's get timing on that. Ah, bottoms. Second try. Oh! Yeah, I was jumping too low there, unfortunately. That's a pain. That's a couple of lives lost, which is a bit of a pain. Right, okay, what we'll be doing is I will be calling the run once we reach level 16, but I will show you what happens when we go higher than that. But we'll call it when we reach level 16. Oh, come on, duck. Come out my way. This bit is the problem because you getting this egg is an absolute pain. Oh! Oh, dear. Right, come on. Right, should be it now. No! Oh, bottoms. Come on. Oh. Yeah, this rate we're not going to get to it. This one's been a bit of a disaster, unfortunately, I'm afraid. Right. Come on. Let's get it this time. Oh, what? Come on. Right, come on. Just not having any luck at all with that egg. There we go. Got it. Right. Okay, so we've got level 7 and level 8 to do. Level 6. Oh, level 6. I forgot about this. Oh, dear. Yeah, no, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun time. Gonna be a fun time. And, yeah. Yeah, that sucks. As you can see, doing this game without losing lives at this level, at this stage, is very, very difficult indeed. I mean, theoretically, as I said before, this game you can keep going. You do not have to. You can never stop theoretically. Oh, come on, in practice. Oh, come on. Oh dear, this is proving to be a challenge today. Oh, no, that's not going to work because Mrs. Ducky is chasing me here. Right, okay, this is really not going according to plan, I'm afraid. It's been very, very unfriendly today. Come on. Hey, finally, right. Happy about that. That'll do the job, right. There we go, got it. Finally. Okay, so level 7. We're nearly there. Time will be when I finish level 16. So I'm probably going to be over time here, but... Oh, I might not even get to level 16. We'll see. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Right. Now, this level is particularly tough with the duck because you don't have a lot of room to manoeuvre, as I said before. And you have to be really rocking here to get this duck out the way because it's a bit of a pain. Come on, ducky. There you go. That's better. Oh, swing. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, this is going to be a bit tight. Come on, Mrs. Ducky. There we go. Excellent. Right. Okay. Good from here. Right. Okay. Final level. Level 16. Now, this is actually easier, I would say, without the chuckies. It's probably easier without the chuckies. It's still not fun because you've got the duck to deal with, but it's a lot easier because you're not having, as long as you don't end up in the duck's mush, which has nearly happened there, you're generally all right. The problem is the movement of the duck is a bit of a problem, and getting in the thing. So come on, bounce over along the bottom of the floor a little bit. That's better. Oh no, come on. This is a level where time is a real issue. To be perfectly honest with you, this is probably the hardest level just on time more than anything else. Oh dear, that was bad. Come on. Oh, all right. I'll take it. Okay. I'm taking some of these right out. Oh, no. I nearly had a face full of duck there. That would have been unpleasant. Right, okay, here we go. Hello, ducky. Here we go. Okay, this is actually going all right. Now I've managed to get up here, it's actually been all right. I've missed that one though, which is bad. Let's reset down here. Hello, Quacker. Go. Right, okay. That should be good. Right. Oh, all the way down the bottom. Okay, so remember time is coming up when we hit level 16, and what I'm probably going to do is I'll keep going for a little while, but if you need to tell me to stop, then I will. But I think I can continue a little bit. I'm not sure what we are on time at the moment, so... Now, that's just unpleasant, Mrs. Duck. Come on, please don't do that. Right, here we go. Okay, that's it, time. Well, time coming up now. That's time. Okay, so, level 17. If you thought that was hard, now you've got Mad Duck and Chuggies. So, this is where the game, becomes blatantly unfair, quite simply. It is literally a case of, how long can you last on this? Now, I have made it to level 24 before. In fact, I think I've made it past level 24 before. But, you have to be doing very, very well to get that far. Right. So I'm going to keep going for a second here. Right. So please feel free, Trico, to tell me as and when you want me to stop.
Yeah, of course. Do not worry.
I'll keep going for just now. Notice, however, now I'm in a much better position because look at my lives now. Despite all those deaths I had earlier on, because I was able to clear the second run very, very quickly, I've now banked up a large amount of lives. And if I can actually continue on the third run without losing too many lives, then that's how you sort of get through. You build your lives up. Unfortunately, I did have a very, very messy first run, which was a bit of a shame. It would have been nicer to have that a bit cleaner. Now, I'm not going to do the nick the egg from the Chucky strat here because with duck breathing down your neck, you really don't want to do that. So this is where things get really fun because, as I say, you're having to deal with duck chasing you. You're having to deal with the movement, obviously. You've got the Chuckies running around. You've got the lifts. This is frenetic, to say the least.
I'd say finish this one and we're good.
Finish this one, right? No worries. Okie dokie. Alright, I will finish this level then. But that's a good showcase for you. So I hope everybody... Ooh, come on, get that egg. Ooh, go on. Okay, and there we go. Okay.
Good job.
So we will stop there at level 20. So I hope everybody enjoyed that run of Chucky Egg. It was a was a bit messy, but we got there in the end. So thank you very much. And on to the next run, which I believe is Jet Set Willy right type of race. So
Yes.
yeah, I'll be back shortly for that as well.
2, 1. You are live.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to the UKSG ZX Spectrum Marathon. We now have the right type of race for Jet Set Willy between Digital Duck and Ruffled Bricks. And what we're going to do here is explain quickly before we start what right type of percent actually is. If you'd like to demonstrate for us, Bricks.
Yes, so there is a room select cheat that you can do in the game where if you go down into the first landing and you type right typer when you're under the stairs, then you can start warping between rooms by pressing different numerical combinations on the keyboard. So 9 will take you to the off license, 9 and 1 will take you to the bridge, where if you're in the wrong position, you'll instantly die, and so on and so forth. The combinations all revolve around like different combinations of like numbers between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But you'll notice that when you walk between rooms, Willy is actually in the exact same position that he ended the last room in. So because of that, we can do this game much quicker than you saw earlier. However, Duck and I have got completely different methods of doing this, so it'll be interesting to see who manages to get theirs in first. Duck, any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm not that good at this category compared to you, so I'm just hoping that I'll try and be a bit more reliable. That's going to be my in if I can manage it.
Cool. All right, over to you, Tim.
Okay, so just again before we start, just to point out, this is obviously a very tricky little category, and we may see quite a few sort of deaths and things here, but it'll be a very close race, very entertaining, and I will do my best to try and explain what's going on. I don't think anybody is going to be able to explain what's going on, but I will try my best.
Best thing to do here is just listen to Tim's brain explode as this goes along.
Here we go. This is going to be fun. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the right type of code has already been entered before we started here. And immediately, Ruffled Bricks is going for the Mega Tree. And Duck is bouncing back and forwards the Wine Cellar. We've got the Orangery, Wine Cellar again. As you can see, it's going incredibly quickly. What they're doing is they're transferring between the different rooms, and they know the order in which they're attending each room, and they're using the code to the next room. And the amount of memorization required is amazing. Conservatory Roof for Duck, Treetop for Bricks. Duck's just dropped off the watchtower and has dropped into the ballroom and died. So is restarting there. You've got Ruffled Bricks up in the chapel to the tree root. Bearing in mind that none of this is intended. Well, it is kind of intended in terms of that it is a level select code within the game. But the way in which they're using it here is very clever, very quick indeed. Because you can plot a route so you land on different platforms in different rooms. Because remember, Willy, when you use the code to move to a different room, will appear in the same position in the next room. So as long as you know exactly where you're going and when, and what position you need to be in, you can swap very quickly between rooms. Ruffled Bricks just went through a wall there. Ruffled Bricks is on 48 items, Duck is on 21. Bearing in mind that that's not necessarily an indicator because some rooms have a lot more items than others. And we're back under the Mega Tree with Duck. West bedroom for Bricks. Quick shot of the Banyan tree there. Duck's going through some walls. We've got Rescue Esmeralda here for Ruffled Bricks.
Yeah, I'm slightly stuck there, so I was just trying to get out of that. We're back on now.
Mega Tree, Wine Cellar, Conservatory Roof, which is the really difficult room that we saw earlier on in the other run, where you actually have to take a death to get that item at the left there. That still applies in this run. Quick visit to the beach there. Got Conservatory Roof for Duck this time. Cuckoo's Nest, which is a very tricky room. We have a bit of a death there.
That was deliberate.
All right. Yep. You do Death Walk in the other category in that room as well. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the chapel. We've got the cold store. Got quite a few items in. We've got the tree root. On Duck's side, we've got Duck in the off license now, which is the room with the most items in the game in it. Bricks is coming up on 74 items, so Bricks is coming quite close. Duck's on 54. So 77 for Ruffled Bricks, 78. Remember, there's 83 items total. We've got the tool shed, we've got the yacht, 81, 82, 83 in the bedroom, and Bricks is heading for the toilet. And there we go. And Duck is still in the cold store. Keep going, Duck.
I'm nowhere yet near yet. I'm still at 60.
Yeah, 61. So we can talk a little bit here now. We've only got one screen to focus on. as you can see, the movement between the screens, it has nothing to do with where the rooms are actually physically in the mansion, because you can literally go anywhere. It's a basically teleport glitch. You can go anywhere in the map. So what they do, what the routes they follow, is they deliberately chain rooms where the position makes the difference in terms of where they want to go in the next room. So to get to the items as quickly as they possibly can. And a lot of the time you'll see them also teleporting while falling. That was lovely, Rescue Esmeralda there. Teleported right into the items. Top of the Forgotten Abbey. We're at 80 now for Duck. Duck's just coming up to the end now, 81. There's one item left there.
I've missed one. I don't know where the 83rd item is.
No.
That could be an issue.
I'm thinking probably the hall. Okay, I'll take it there.
The invisible item in the hall?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Possibly. Let's see if it's there.
Because the invisible item is in the top, just on the right-hand side of the hall here. Ruffled Bricks mentioned it in their run earlier on.
It's not that one.
Is it not that one? No? Okay. Yacht,
Not
bow,
Dr. Jones.
beach,
Not beach.
swimming pool?
Top of the house. Here we go.
Top of the house. Yep, top of the house. There we go. It's the flagpole.
Okay. Flagpole.
It's the top of the flagpole. There it is
Then
there.
we need to go back to the master bedroom. Let's do that.
Yep.
And bathroom.
Hey! And
Okay.
toilet time. There we go.
Okay, well that could have gone better, but we did it.
Well
Nicely
done, both.
GG.
Yeah, well done. That was fantastic. As you can see, there was so much going on there. We only really got a flavour of the amount of practice and the amount of precision required for that is insane. So that's a really, really high level skill showcase there. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. We're going to move swiftly on. I'll be back very shortly with some Magic Land Dizzy. So see you in a bit.
Thanks, Tim.
One live.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back. I am going to be doing some Magic Land Dizzy just now. I most recently ran this game at ESA, and this is a game that I love. This is one of my favourite games. I said yesterday when I did Prince of the Yokefolk that this is one of my favourite games to run on the Spectrum. And yeah, this is probably my favourite. It's difficult to say, but I've got Digital Duck with me, Escape from the Cage.
Hello again. Again.
He's recovered from chasing Henhouse Harry round after earlier. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do some Dizzy 4. So, I'm going to get started, and time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, if you'd like to maybe just give us a quick intro to this game, please, Doc.
Yeah, so you might recognise the first screen if you were paying attention yesterday. Weird Henge is, of course, the last screen of Dizzy 3.5. And that's because Dizzy 3.5 is the direct prequel to this game. It was made as a demo to sort of whet people's appetite for this. So, you know, this is the rest of the game that you're missing all that time. The basic idea of the game is that Dizzy's friends have been, mostly Dizzy's family actually, have been kidnapped and put under various spells in Magic Land, and Dizzy has to go and rescue them. Using this typical Dizzy gameplay where we find items, we use items, we get more items.
Yep, it's got all the staples here. It's got the cloud jumping. It's got the vandalism. It's got the collect the 30 items. It's got all sorts of interesting bits and pieces in here. It's a fun little game. It's actually very challenging as well in terms of a speed run. These games, as we've seen, are fairly unforgiving, and this one can be quite tricky. It can be quite tricky indeed. So I'm just going to try and take it safe here with this one. I've got a fairly generous estimate. So we're on top of Weird Henge now, and we're going to pick up that item there. I'm very, very low on health. That's very bad. Right, now I've got to make sure the most important part of the run is coming up. If you'd explain
handle.
what that is. Yes, the handle. I'm always forgetting the handle here. For some reason, this is right at the beginning of the run, and there's a section here where you've got to put the handle on the well and get the bucket up. And literally, more often than not, I miss it. I don't quite understand why. But yeah, I just seem to have a memory blank and I miss it. So it's very important to handle it properly. Right, okay.
We also pick up the bucket there, which is a staple in the Dizzy games. I think every Dizzy game has a bucket of some kind.
Yeah, most of them have got handles as well. Right, okay. So we're going to go over here now then. So this is quite a large game. It's not the largest in the series, but it's getting there, certainly. It might be the second largest, not entirely sure. But it's a pretty large game by Dizzy standards.
I think both Spellbound, Crystal
Wonderful.
Kingdom, and Wonderful are all Dizzy. Are all Dizzy. They're all Dizzy, but they're all bigger than this. I think this is the biggest of the old traditional Dizzy games. I'd say with the old engine.
Yeah. It is quite and again you've got your typical Dizzy backtracking here. You're going back and forth collecting your items and stuff. But like I say, what I like about this particular game is the sort of fun of it, the personality of it. I mean, as I said, Duck was saying, you've got all your Dizzy's friends or family, all under various spells, and it's got a lovely sort of cartoon setting. Well, Dizzy games are anyway, but this is a particularly good one. It's also got amazing music as well. I know it's your favourite, isn't it, Duck? This one.
Yeah, absolutely. I would jam to this all day.
This is a very, very good tune, this piece of music. It is the only piece of music in the game, unfortunately, but it's still very, very good. Right, drop the stick, pick up the cat. We're going to do a bit of ghost busting here. We picked up a power pill earlier on, and we're now going to go over here, and we're going to go into the haunted swamp and do a bit of ghost busting. Get rid of those ghosts. We're then going to give this nice witch over here. We're going to nick her gem first, and then we're going to give her the cat back. Got to have a kitty. There we go, kitty back. Okay, and then we're going to go over to this next section. Now, like I said earlier, this game is quite tricky. There is a lot that can kill you here. If I make mistakes with movement, it's very, very easy to die. And there's a section right at the very end of the game, which we'll get to, where it's very RNG and very, very easy to die. So this, we debate back and forth. Whether or not which games are the more difficult, but I know Treasure Island, which we saw yesterday, in my opinion, probably is the most difficult. But I would definitely say this is quite a tricky one too, to be honest.
I think Treasure Island is the most difficult casually, but the fact that it's not doesn't really have any RNG means it's fairly easy from a speedrunning perspective, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just learn everything and just do it.
Yeah, where would you put this one in terms of difficulty? What would your thoughts be?
I think this is one of the easier ones.
Fair enough.
I mean, it does have the big spike at the end, but once you learn the shark and the drawbridge, it is just the spike at the end that you really have to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got drawbridge there. That's going to let us move over to this side of the map now. We're going to do all sorts of little clever sort of inventory stuff here. Faddy, who's the world record holder for this, came up with this route, and I'm using it pretty much as is. Let's just, there we go. And have I forgot? Oh, I'm missing something. What happened?
No, you're not missing anything.
Oh, right. I thought I forgot the dagger. No, yeah. I thought I'd forgot something there. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the daggers later. That's the thing. There's so many items that you have to sort of keep track of, and it's a pretty linear route, but it's making sure it's very easy because you go to certain locations several times, and it's making sure you keep track of where you are on the route. Because now I've got to go up and get the lightning rod. So yeah, I got a bit confused there. I thought I was ahead of where I should have been. Right. I'm hoping I'm going to actually cheat here. I'm doing that out of sequence. Every time I pick up a gem, we'd like to talk about the gems. We talked about these yesterday, but if you want to talk about them,
yeah, it's the same as in Prince of the Oak Folk. we've got a number of gems we have to collect. We have to collect all of them to get the final end of the game. But each time we do, we get a bit of health back. So we're not going to be collecting them as instantly every time as we go along. We're going to be saving some of them for towards the end when we need more health. Just to balance things out a bit. Because if you collect a gem and you're already at full health, you're just wasting that health pickup.
I actually got a gem early, that one in the tower there. I got that a bit earlier than I normally would because I was really low on health, so I wanted to just be on the safe side, just to make sure there wasn't any mishaps there. Right, okay, so we're heading up towards the first save now. We're going to be saving one of Dizzy's friends fairly shortly here. This little sequence, there's quite a lot of inventory management going on here, so we're going to pick up that stick, drop that lightning conductor for later on. Now this is quite an important little sequence here. We're going to cut the rope here, we're going to do a bit of animal abuse and beat up the goat with a big stick. We're going to pick up that bucket, drop the stick, let that goat get out the way, and now what we're going to do, we have a bucket full of hot water and we're going to use it to defrost Denzel. Denzel is over there chilling out, looking cool. And we are going to throw a bucket on him and chill him out. So that's him sorted. And then I'm going to get that on the way down. And this is very quick to the next one. We're going to go down in here into the dungeons, into the crypt. And we are going to find Daisy. Would you like to explain what poor old Daisy has been up to?
Yeah, so Daisy has, she's put on a bit of weight in her time in the dungeon. In fact, she's had a spell cast on her to make her several times her normal size, and she needs some drink me potion, which I believe is actually whiskey, to get her back to her normal size.
There we go.
And she decides she needs to lie down.
Yeah. One of the things I love about this game is that, and we'll point it out when we get to it later on, there is an item that you could give to Daisy instead of the drink me potions. Would you like to mention that, Duck?
Yeah, so we have actually seen it already. On the drawbridge, there is an eat me cake, and if you decide to give that to Daisy instead, she will rather than shrink and get back her normal size, she will in fact grow even bigger, and crush Dizzy against the edges of the room that she's trapped in.
Yes.
Which is not ideal.
No, it's super enlarged. Very, very unpleasant, but very amusing. Right, okay, so there we go. We've managed to get that right this time. So I've picked up that apple there. And so all the things I'm doing here, you might think, well, he's just wandering back and forth, not really doing anything. There's the cake, by the way. That's the Emi cake that would super enlarge Daisy. You only lose a life for that. It doesn't game over you. But if you only have 3 lives in this game, which are indicated by the counter at the top there. Right, okay, we're going to drop the personal stereo down here for the time being, and now we're going to go for our last trip up into the clouds here. So that's where I would normally get that gem, but I'm not going to need to get it now because I got it earlier. I'm going to get this gem here now. This is actually going okay so far at the moment. I've not made any major screw-ups yet, I don't think. Alright, okay, that's good. And then we've got this little duster here. This is a wee bit tricky. Let's grab that. Okay, so we grab the duster. Duster's going to be used very shortly, but for the time being, we're going to drop it on Dylan. This is Dylan, who's got all bushy here. And we're going to pick up the leaf. And we've now got a leaf, an apple, and a torch. And we're going to give those to the witch, and they're going to be what we need to sort Dylan out. So we're going to get Dylan dispelled next. And I also need to remember not to forget to pick up the frog. I do that quite often. Right, so leaf, apple, torch, and that's a weed killer. And I've got to pick up the frog. You'd like to explain about the frog?
Yep, so the frog is the newest member of the Yoke Folk. Making her debut appearance in this game is Dora, who I believe is Dizzy's sister.
I think so.
I think.
Yep.
And so she's one of the 6 we have to save.
We're going to weed killer here, and that's Dylan. He's groovy man. Off he goes. So that's Dylan done. So we've got half of them done now. We've freed Denzel, Daisy, and Dylan, and we've still got Dora, Dozy, and Grand Dizzy to sort out. So I'm just going to Ooh, dear. Right, okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop the frog there. Going to go up here. Okay, right. So we're rattling along quite nicely here. As I say, the thing I like about this game is it's a fun little game to play. As I said yesterday when I did Prince of the Oak Folk, these probably are my two favourites. But the only thing with this one is, as we mentioned earlier, is that the difficulty really does get ridiculous at the end. The end of the run is particularly unforgiving. And if you've had a bad run up to that point and you're going into the end sequence with one life, your chances of finishing the run are quite slim. It's a bit unpleasant. But
It definitely backloads all of its difficulty towards the end.
yeah, most
Whereas-
certainly.
I think other Dizzy games are kind of consistently hard the whole way through, and this one kind of saves it all until you're very close to beating it, and then decides to just say no, you're not doing it.
Yeah, no, the last few sections of the game are just, yeah, not impossible by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely very challenging, and very challenging casually. Very, very challenging casually. Should perhaps have stopped there, but that's fine. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is we have set things up for a little sort of triple whammy almost here of freeing our friends, because we're now going to get Dora. And we're going to take Dora again, and we're going to go for a little trip down the well here. Would you like to explain what I'm going to do when I reach the well here, please, Doc?
Yeah, so inside the well, there is a rat, and because hitting a goat isn't just enough animal abuse for one day, this is going to play some pipes and make the rat sleepwalk to his death.
Yeah, he's not very animal friendly, is Dizzy. We've talked about this before. He's a vandal. He's the RSPCA will be on to him, I think. Right, so there goes that rodent. There it goes. We're going to pick up this sticky stuff, which is useful very shortly. We're going to pick up that gem. Again, you need 30 of these, and we are leaving them, but there are a few that I know. Now then, there's a couple little quick skip here. Well, not a skip, but a little trick here if I can get it right. Oh, no, didn't get it right. I can still get it, but I've positioned it wrong. That's a little dialogue skip, which we saw in Prince of the Oak Folk. There isn't as many of them in this game. There's only the couple. There's that one there, and there's one with Daisy, which I managed. Well, I managed them both, but the setup for them was a little bit messy. But they're very similar. Shoutouts for 2 spaces for those again. Right, I've pulled out the sword, Excalibur. And now what I'm going to do, I'm always going past that, I'm going to drop the magic lamp. We're going to rub the duster, and if you can explain what's happening while we're doing that.
Yeah, so as always, when you rub a magic lamp, a genie pops out. This genie isn't the kind of genie to grant wishes, though. This is a genie that electrocutes you. Because we've got a lightning rod in the room, the electricity is actually attracted to the lightning rod instead. And because we've put it on top of Dozy, Dozy gets electrocuted. And that wakes him up. And it's such a shock that he decides he needs to have a lie down afterwards.
Yeah, he decides he needs to go back to sleep again. So yeah, I love Dozy. So that's Dozy sorted. So we've only got one left now. We've got Grand Dizzy, who is behind the magic mirror. Magic mirror in here. And the only reason we can beat this queen here is because we got the sword. And so that becomes king takes queen. So we've got the sword. Oh, that's going to be... Oh, dear, that's very close. Right, that's Grand Dizzy sorted. So we've freed all of our friends. So we're most of the way there now, but we're not finished, because what we've got to do is we've got to kill the evil wizard, as you do, and we've also got to rescue ourselves. So we've still got a couple of things that we have to do in... Oh, dear, I missed that just a tiny little bit. There we go, that's fine. So this is now where things start picking up, because we have rescued all 6 of the Oak Folk, and we now have to go and deal with the wizard. The wizard is actually in that room we've just been in, well, in that tower we've just been in. But we've got to go to the other side of the map now to get him sorted. And this is where the most challenging part of the run is. What I like to call Dizzy versus the volcano. And in fact, I know it's a bit early, but if you want to maybe explain about the volcano before we get there, Duck. Oh boy. I got
Yeah, so well, this is the part of the game, as every Dizzy game has. It's an area where you have to do lots and lots of backtracking. So we're going to be walking the entire length of the world 3 times before we can actually finish the game, or 3 more times, I should say. On the far right is a volcano, which is normally dormant. I think the room is actually called the dormant volcano when you first arrive in there. But after you've saved all 6 of your friends, it suddenly becomes active. And so we need to we do get a text box that says something has happened in the world, like a booming. There's a booming sound, which is supposed to imply that the volcano has erupted, and there are clouds coming out of the volcano that we need to jump across.
And this
But
is,
they are
yeah.
not predictable in any way. The only thing you can predict about them is that they start at the bottom and go upwards. But whereabouts at the bottom or when, it's not something easy to tell.
I got very lucky there, though. That was very good volcano RNG for the first trip. That is very, very, very tricky stuff there. I mean, that is pure RNG as well, how those clouds behave. And they have the standard dizzy cloud mechanic as well, where you can actually fall through the clouds and you have to keep jumping to keep yourself up, which doesn't help. It makes it even more challenging. So we're in the cracks here. We're going to see Mr. Devil himself here. And he is going to give us this trident. And he wants us to stab the wizard with it. Because the wizard apparently was able to imprison the devil. So we're going to go back up here now and do a bit of wizard killing. Hopefully. And so this is where a lot of these gems that we left earlier on come into play. Because I like to leave a lot of them now. Now then, let's just get this right. That's probably not close enough. That's probably... No. I'm going to be safe here, you see. I mean, I probably could have got that one, but you've got to be very, very careful with these clouds. There we go. That'll do me. Because what I can do, yeah, that's fine. There you go. So, as you can see, that is purely RNG there. And I prefer in a speed run, in a sort of, certainly in a marathon, to take my time with those and make sure that I'm going to get the jumps. Because it's very, very easy to just YOLO it and end up in the volcano. Hard-boiled. Which isn't a lot of fun. I'm also going to pick this gem up here. I don't actually need that health at that point, but it's easier to pick it up going that direction than it is from the other direction. So I'm going to pick that up there. Because once we finish the wizard off here, because all we've got to do now is walk all the way back and stab the wizard. And then once we've done that, we have to pick up the 30 gems. Because they're what we're going to need to give to the devil to get us home. So I will... Any other thoughts on comments about this game while we're heading back to Zach's duck?
I was just going to say that there is actually a secret room above the volcano that we're not going to see. But it doesn't have any real purpose. It's just there for fun. But if you want to do some exploring up there, there's an Irie's nest, a harpy's nest, harpy's Irie. That's the combination I'm looking for.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
No. I was just going to say, like, it's a fun little thing that's up there for absolutely no reason other than just to have something up there.
Yeah, you get up to that by jumping on the clouds. So you can actually jump up on the clouds that are coming up from the volcano to get up there. I don't think you can get very far when you get up there, but you can get into that room by doing that, I believe. Right. Okay, here we go. So this is wizard killing time now. So we're coming towards the end of the run here, which is pretty good. Now this... Oh dear, I'm going to die here. Oh! Wow, how did I not die? My health wasn't quite full and I thought I was going to die. Right, excellent. Okay, so all we have to do now, we've dispatched the wizard. We've got his ring. So now what we've got to do a bit of Lord of the Rings. Because we've now got to get this ring and take it and throw it in the volcano. Throw it in the cracks. So, again... We have a wonderful bit of backtracking, and I've got to be careful this time though, because I've got to make sure I don't miss any of the gems like that one that are lying around on my way back here, because everything is all sorted. I've got 4 left. There are 2 actually in the devil section, so as long as I reach that section with 28, then I'm going to be on time, on count. I don't think I've missed any up to this point. At least I hope not. There's one there, and there's another one in the monolith. So yeah, they're right. We're on count for the gems, which is good. Because as we had an issue with just now with the right typer, it's very easy to forget something and then wonder where it was. It's very, very easy to forget. Oh dear, bit dodgy shark there. All right, don't want to fall in the well. That wouldn't be fatal, but it would be very, very bad for the time. Right. Okay, so this is my last gem here that's outside. I've got 2 gems left, so all I've got to do now is I've got to get these 2 gems, and I've got to throw the ring into the cracks and speak to the devil. I've also got to brave the volcano again for the 3rd time. And the cracks section is nasty jumping as well. So as we said earlier, this is really, the difficulty is right at the very end of the run. I've died in this last room on more than one occasion. Right, what have we got? Okay, that's not ideal. That's a bit far. Ooh, got lucky there. Ooh, that was a bit lucky. That was chancing it a bit, I think. But we got there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was expecting you to not jump there, and I was about to say you probably could have risked that one. but then you did anyway, so.
Right, okay, here we go. This is the last little bit then. This is the fun bit. Because you've got these jumps there, which are not the easiest jumps on the world to do. Oh, and I failed that one. No, I haven't. That's fine. We throw the ring in there, and then we go down here. Time is coming up. Time is just coming up. And there we go. Time. Woo! Okay.
That was a good run.
I'm very happy with that. Yeah, it was a wee bit slow in places. I let the bridges go a few times and a few other things, shark and that. But in terms of that was no deaths. I didn't forget anything major that time. Didn't screw up any of the inventory. That was much better than my ESA run. So yeah, very, very happy with that. So thank you very much, folks. I hope we enjoyed that. A little bit of Magic Land is E. We are now going to go away just now, and then we've got Sparks up next with Boulder Dash 3, and I'll be commentating for that. So we'll be back with you very shortly. Thank you very much. Cheers, and thank you again, Duck.
Feel free to go.
Okay, can do. Welcome back, folks. The UKSG Spectrum Marathon. I'm here. We have Sparks F1, who's going to very kindly run Boulder Dash 3 for us today. Very interesting game, this. It's one of the 3 games in the series. We're just going to get started, and we'll talk more about it while we get started.
Just before you get started, could you turn up the volume just a little bit? If that's okay. Sorry about that. Yep, that's completely fine.
Okay, are you ready to go, Sparks?
We're
live.
Ready and live.
Okay, I'll do a countdown for you then.
Oh, just before you do, apparently you're not audible, Sparks. I do apologize. Have you got your mic set up correctly?
Try it. Okay, how am I sounding now? Can I be heard now?
I'm still hearing you okay, but I'll see if streamers, nobody's reacting.
Yes.
Bit strange. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
He did say yes, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah, we're
fine.
good now. Yeah, we hear you now.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
I apologize for the delays. Feel free to get going when you're ready.
I just want to double check. It's not linking back around with Tim or Tricro there, no?
I believe it's all fine, thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. We still have the demo not managing to get its way out of there, but
Okay, are you good to go?
yep. I just have to press S once more, and now I'm ready for a countdown. Go
Okay.
straight ahead.
Yeah, okay, here we go then. Countdown. Ready for time? Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Now, excellent. All right. So, this is going to be a fun and interesting few minutes of a stream. There's no guarantees that I'm going to be able to complete this, but we'll give it a very good go. So, congratulations on the Dizzy run there, Tim.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. I'll talk a little bit first about this game then, folks, for those who've never seen this before. This is Boulder Dash 3, which is unsurprisingly the 3rd game in the series. The series itself is relatively well known. Early 1980s. Was originally produced by First Star Software. Chris Gray, I believe, was the programmer, but this particular one was done by a group called American Action, who are a Swedish group. Now, the idea here is you control Rockford, who's our little man here, and you are in an underground cave, a bit like Manic Miner, but not quite. And you are collecting the jewels, the gems, which are these sort of silvery square things there. You've also, unfortunately, got the boulders of the title, which are the round things. And boulders respond to gravity. And if you dig out the earth underneath the boulders, you end up getting squashed. Now, this basic level, first level here, is very, very basic. It's just a tutorial level. Those sort of grey squares that you see in Sparks walking through are actually dirt. So Rockford can walk through the dirt without any bother, and he removes any dirt that he walks through. The only thing you have to be aware of, though, is that, as I mentioned, boulders follow gravity. So it's very, very easy to unseat a boulder by digging the dirt out from underneath it and squashing yourself. Rockford can also push boulders, as indicated there. And the objective of each cave is to get a certain number of diamonds and then get to the exit. So that's Cave A, the 16 levels in this game. So we're on to Cave B here. And as you notice, the colour scheme is slightly different here as well, to make your eyes bleed just a little bit more.
Most certainly. And this level's called Ford Knox, because the diamonds are locked away.
You have to use a specific mechanic to get those diamonds out, which we will see shortly.
Yeah. We may also see a death. There's a strong probability of there being a death. Because you see just over on the left there, they were fireflies in the previous 2 games, but they're now called mouths.
Yeah, the enemies. There's all sorts of various sort of because this is basically a puzzle game. So these melts here, basically what happens is you can actually kill them by dropping boulders on them, and when you do that, they explode, and they'll take out anything that's nearby them, including walls. So what you have to do is position them in an appropriate way, and then drop boulders on their heads to ensure that you can actually break open the Fort Knox and get the gems.
Shit. That didn't go well. Okay, right, we have a problem. We have a minor, possibly major problem coming up here. Yep. Okay, first death.
All right, okay, that does unfortunately happen. This is a challenging level.
Yeah.
And remember that this game. Sorry, carry on.
I'd said there was a couple of levels of worry, and this is kind of one of the minor ones. Kind of half expected a death, but
It happens. I mean, this I've never played this particular version of the game, but I played the original Boulder Dash.
oh, this one
on the
is
Spectrum quite a lot.
This one is seriously janky and broken compared to the first two. It really is. Still good fun, and it's to be honest with you, it's one of my favourites. And I much prefer the Spectrum version to the Commodore 64 version. Oh, keyboard issue.
Oh dear, yeah.
Yeah, see, I have to fire up and then get back out and away as quick as possible. And if I have any kind of lag, I'm pretty much stuck.
Yeah. Very unforgiving, as you can see here. These games, we talked about it earlier on. We've had three very, very unforgiving games really. This Manic Miner, Jet Set Willy and Chucky Egg are all very unforgiving.
Yeah.
In their own way.
And this also isn't the emulator issue. The same issue applied playing it on real hardware as well. But you even see here that Rockford, when I'm moving down, he moves off the screen.
Yeah.
Right, we got out now. No more mess. Oh, I had a missed left input there again. That was very shaky. Right. Right, that's the perfect. That's actually the perfect. If I edge up properly, I can actually see them coming up towards me.
Yeah.
Oh, mother.
Oh, there they come. There they come.
That wasn't exactly what I wanted, but we might still have enough here. Oh.
Might be able to make it work.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I'm gonna just let them. I'm gonna hide away for 2 minutes, and let them go back. Because they'll come back down here now, and I'll actually wait for them all the way through to come back. For the very simple reason is, right, they can't get around there, can they? I want to see them coming back down, because otherwise they could be cycled. Oh, okay, they're coming back. Perfect.
So as I was saying earlier, this is effective, but it is a puzzle game basically. But there's a lot of the arcade sort of movement and stuff involved, and it's it like I said, the series itself is relatively well known. Repton, which came after this, is also a fairly well known example of this sort of game. Did you ever play Repton, Sparks?
I did, and I believe there's possibly a couple of oh, I don't believe this. That mount is in a very bad position there. There's a couple of big Repton fans probably in chat there. Fuck. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
It just span around in the wrong position because one of the diamonds came down. I didn't expect to get stuck here.
Yeah, no worries. Keep going. As I said, this is just doing the games like this is a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah. Once I get through here, we'll go on a bit of a run until we hit J and K, and then there'll be more trouble. I really did not expect to have this problem. I'm gonna, as you say, focus.
Yeah, just keep trying. It's to say though that this sort of game, I mean, this is perhaps giving it its due, not the best example. Bearing in mind you talked about the jankiness of it, but I still like this sort of game. This reminds me very much of the likes of Chips Challenge. I don't know if you've ever played that, Sparks.
Yes. I have played it, yeah.
Which was a bit later than this, but similar, roughly similar sort of idea.
Again.
A sort of action platform, a sort of puzzler.
Again. I cannot believe that happened twice. I
You're not
really
getting a lot
cannot
of luck
believe
here,
that.
unfortunately.
No, I'm not getting any luck at all. I'm worried that there might still be another one up there. Okay, all right, we might have got away with this. There's also another risk that if the diamonds have fallen down, I might have destroyed too many diamonds to be able to complete the level. There's also that risk. Okay, come on, where are these two? Oh, don't tell me these two have got stuck to the other side. There's a diamond there that's probably at the stop and them getting back out.
The other thing we haven't talked about here is there is actually, unfortunately, each level is timed as well.
Yeah.
So there is a timer on here. So these diamonds are.
Yeah. Now I need to work on a backup, and I need to start thinking very, very quickly. Right. I'm not going to have any reaction time here, so I'm going to have to guess and just go now. Right. Now it's have we got?
Oh.
It's have we got enough diamonds now? Because I need 50. Oh man. How honestly bad could this run have started off? 25. I don't think there's enough.
Keep going, keep going. That there is an extra life, I believe.
Yeah, once that you see that shimmering, it's an extra life. So I need 19. I do not have enough. Oh!
Got him,
Clutch
got him.
on the 50.
Oh, wow. Absolute clutch.
And if you
Excellent.
think, right, folks, if you think that was hard, this is the hardest level in the game by far. We'll wait. So hard, so difficult, extremely difficult. Spectrum game is so broken, this kind of stuff happens. I'm still waiting. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, that was C1. Okay, what happened there is the enchanted wall turns boulders into diamonds and diamonds into boulders. But in the Spectrum version, because they hadn't got the mechanic that the Commodore 64 had, which was that these things here called monoliths, if one of the walls is active, they turn into diamonds. Spectrum mechanics couldn't do that, so they just had to open the door for you.
I like it.
So when we talk about the game is broken, that is exhibit A, B, C, D, and E. Now, so this is called Reunion, and we had mouth on the first level, or sorry, the second level, and now we see eyes. Okay, I don't think I'm going. Yes, that's okay. There's a very easy strat for this level, which is just to release them, let them blow up, and now I just kind of wait. I will make things a little bit easier for myself here by organising this. I just want to drop a few boulders down, so I'm not going to give myself any blockers when I'm collecting quite a lot of stuff in a minute. Everybody probably going, this guy's crazy, what's he doing? But there will be logic that will apply now in a minute. Now we just wait. So how? I hope everybody's doing well, because we're going to be waiting for about a minute, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's wherever this goes into fast mode.
One of the things I'd like to comment on with this game in particular is, even though all the movement in here is quite precise, it's very, very easy to accidentally make a mistake and to end up squashing yourself with a boulder. That's one of the things that I found about this game.
It's not just easy. It's required. It happens. There's 1,001 ways to mess up in this game, and I've done just about all of them. Now you're gonna see in a second. Come on. They turn into, because the monoliths were trapped before 200 spaces, it turns into diamonds. Which you'll probably see later is if it gets any wilder and goes over 200, it turns into boulders. I'm taking a risk now with this level because I just want to make sure. Oh, you are joking me. Drop. Good boy. Die. Thank you. The way the diamond patterns flow here is very, very weird. And you can very easily mess up as I'm trying to navigate this here. I could very easily bring a diamond down on my head, which will kill me as well. That might do me for now, because I have a little bit of confidence in myself on E and F. Oh, no, that was close. That was close. I didn't realise he was circling there, so I could have very easily went straight into him. Now, this is a bonus life. Every 4 screens, you get an intermission where you get a bonus life, and even if you die in it, it makes no difference. You still have the life, and you don't lose one. In the Commodore 64 version, how this works is you wait until that monolith grows 30 spaces, and then you drop the rock through, and it turns into diamonds. You collect them when you come out. Now on to E1.
Yep, this is the first of the 2 maze levels.
Yeah.
This is where an eye-searing palette here.
Yeah. This is where I become a pacifist. I don't want to kill anything at the moment. Unlike the previous level where, because I was getting money, I killed everything. We don't want to disturb them. They can just be happy where they are. Locked away, and I don't even need that diamond there. There's 23 out in the open. My routing is terrible here because the exit was actually there. I should have went up a bit higher first. But these things happen. It's good for confidence just to get a couple of levels together and going without mistakes. I mean, you see with this, I'm literally slowing down so that I don't overrun and go smashing into something.
Yeah, your field of view is fairly restricted, isn't it?
Yeah, so. Because you hold the direction, within a couple of seconds you've gone off the screen. Right, now I used to have one strategy for this all the way through when I was younger. But for speed running, I decided to try something a little bit different. And I'm going to try it right now, which is to actually disturb this one, which is not exactly the best idea in the world, but we'll give it a go. I waste a couple of seconds here, but it gives me a much clearer run and less chance of mistakes on the way back. But it is a tougher route, a much tougher route, and I'm not familiar with it. That's fine. So go on, Tim, you were just about to say there?
Yeah, I was just saying, one thing that strikes me just watching this is it's very obvious from looking at the game that the Commodore 64 influence here. because most games on the Spectrum don't look quite. This looks more like a Commodore game than a Spectrum game. Obviously, it's a Spectrum port,
Yeah.
but you can tell the Commodore sort of genesis of this game just by looking at it. Really,
When you because I've played both. I played the Commodore 64 version of this, and for aesthetics, the Spectrum version is head and shoulders above. The Commodore 64 version actually to me looks disgusting. And it's very rare to say that about. Normally, it's the Commodore 64 game that you'll say, "Oh my God, that is beautiful." But no, this is true, beautiful Spectrum in all its glory. Right, so there we go. Now I just need to get back and stay on the gaps that I've already created, or near enough, knowing where they are, so that I'm not going to run into one, and that should be another level done. Right, so that's F. Now we're on to G, obstacle, which is basically run like hell. Because the monoliths are going to trap me in if they're orangey. They could easily close that quick cap there, or down here, if it goes into fast mode, which is always a possibility of that happening. But other than that, this is an easy level. 25 diamonds here. Grab them, get to the exit, game over.
I always remember you go into a big pile of diamonds like that, and you think, "Oh, this is easy," and you try collecting them all, and then you make one slight movement mistake, and then you get crushed by a diamond.
Yeah, you send one kind of toppling over, and it comes back and lands on poor little Rockwood. So that's G done, and now on to H, which is, my holy God, this is as hard as C.
Some very, very creative palettes we're seeing here.
Yeah.
I don't remember the original game being quite this garish.
Now, and we just same again. Now we wait, and there's that level done. There's 4 levels in this game that are broken, but it will make up for it in. There's going to be a deliberate death here, by the way, because of time.
Yeah.
Bye bye, Rockford. Poor Rockford.
Yeah, it's quicker. Yeah, squish my gem. Yep.
I like that there from Duck. I paid for 15 colours. I'm going to use 15 colours. That's really good. Now, this is a very, very easy level. He says before something goes very badly wrong. However, as you probably seen, Tim, in the notes, this is such an easy level, they decided to completely break the game with it. Because on I4, you go around, this game continues around on a loop, A1 to P1. And then after you finish P1, you start from A2 and go all the way around. You can do that all the way until you hit I4. And then there's unmovable. There's one of the sections here that you just can't get through. There's nothing to destroy it, and there's no way through it, and that's it. It's game over at that point. You cannot get through it.
So theoretically, the game is repeatable, like Chucky Egg, but unfortunately, due to a bug, you get stuck.
Yeah. Now it was, as far as I know, on the Commodore 64. Well, I know for a fact there is in the Commodore 64 a fixed version. I'm not sure whether it exists or not for Spectrum. I'd say it does, to be honest. But I've never actually got the ROM for it, because I do believe the Commodore version, even though they fixed it, they made a change or two to the game itself. And I like the original game. So the original version of this game, the untouched. Now, okay, more deaths possible here. See,
Yeah.
same with B. There was red. When you see red, think danger. Now I have to do a long setup on this. I want to have a kind of a little winding maze for these to follow. And then I do it in a certain extent. I don't want to go out over any further than 2. Right, that's fine. Right, so that's the first bit. And now you're going to see Rockford going flying off the screen again.
Yeah.
And we have to wait all this time for it to catch up.
I was looking at the scrolling and thinking, yeah, the scrolling is, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing, that's for sure. There's got to come a point on this now in a moment where my heart is quite literally going to be in my mouth.
A lot of setup involved here on this one.
Yeah, this is a setup one, and from a speedrun perspective, it's you really need to be getting through this. There are faster ways of doing this, but for this run, when I don't want to be repeating levels, I'm doing it this way just to be safe. Now, I say safe, there's still a probability I'm going to die at some point. Right, now you go 4 up, down, 1 across, wait for him to go. Right, good boy. Now, the mouths and the eyes have a similar pattern. The mouths will go in an anti-clockwise direction. The eyes will go in a clockwise direction. And when they mix in levels, which there is one later, it goes absolutely batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite literally unpredictable. Right. So you go. Thank you. So I'm literally in a race against time to release these. Give myself enough of a warning if one of these kicks back, because they could cycle. Oops. Nice and easy, Paul. They could very easily cycle and kick back at me. Like, see this one here? Oh, I thought he was going to go up.
Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh dear!
Oh man. I thought he was going to kick up the other way. There's always the risk of one of them coming back down on you. I mean, as you know yourself from Dizzy, Dizzy's predictable because it behaves the same every single time.
Yep.
Right? This game behaves the same every single time except when it's different.
Sounds about right.
Because every single space that you take or don't take affects the behaviour of the mouths or the eyes. And it's it's interesting. And unfortunately we have to go through the entire setup, and this is where the penalty comes in when this kind of stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, obviously this is quite a long level just regarding the setup, but
yeah.
And as you can see, unfortunately, even if you get the setup correctly, you can still get unlucky.
It can still go
yeah.
very pitong.
How long did it take you to come up with the setup for this though? Because it's a really elaborate setup. It's great.
This is one that I just remembered from when I was a kid, and
Nice.
It was basically months and months of work on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Now I know
I can see that.
I know I have boulders here that I could pretty much happily block the path and send them out a different way. But that could also have unintended consequences as well. So now I know the next time if one of these comes back, it's get out of dodge quickly. Ooh, that was close. Right, one more. Don't go too far that way. Uh-oh. Pray. I finished the level off screen, and see how close that mount was to me.
Chasing you. Oh, well done. That was a tough one.
Yeah. Now we're into.
This
Oh
is a
boy.
nasty one, isn't it?
Yeah. Now you have your notes there.
Yep.
I would like you to say.
Talk about this one.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So what the plan with this one is, you have monoliths in this one. The monoliths are the green things. And basically what you have to do is you have to let the monoliths grow to a certain size. And then you have to trap them to ensure you get diamonds out of them. Because when the monoliths reach a certain size, as we saw earlier on in the level with them, what happens is they keep growing until they fit all available space. If they reach a certain size, they'll produce diamonds. If they go over a certain size, I'm not sure how much, they produce boulders instead.
Yeah.
And this is basically the same as the previous level, but it's really quite challenging. And the thing about this level, Sparks likes as well, is the name. The name of this level is called Good Luck.
And I'm going to need quite a lot of it now, because I don't think I can actually do this level now. Actually, hang on, it might still be possible. Right, here we go. Drop, 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 drop. Up. Okie dokie. I completely messed my setup now there, but whoops. I don't intend to actually break it from the left hand side. What happened there was I released the mount in the wrong direction, so I couldn't get underneath here. I want to actually block here and get underneath like this.
Yeah.
But I need to block this point here and then go around the other side. Right, but I still have to let this out.
The really tricky thing here is you're having to use your mouth to free the monolith in the first place.
Yeah.
And then you're having to seal it back up again. So there's a lot moving parts, lots involved with this one.
Yeah, and if I don't release it in time, it becomes diamonds. But I need 25 to get out of this cave. Come on.
Yeah.
Alright, that's one. Come on. Ah, you bloody thing. Right, I'm gonna have to just suffer with that mount there for the moment and hope he doesn't blow, because I just remembered. Oh, he's dead. He's gone. That's good. No, 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 no. There, see, pass mode.
Well,
That's over. That's game over. Well, it's game over for this one.
it's just it's got out of control, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I'll actually just let it go and it becomes boulders.
Ooh.
6 more lives. As I said earlier, this is a potential run killer.
Yeah. No. I mean, to be honest with you, putting together a complete run of this must be an absolute nightmare because of all the different, there's so many different ways it can go wrong.
That's an unusual one. I'm actually going to do something very quickly for safety here. Grant. I just made a quick snapshot just in case.
Yeah. It's very sensible.
How are we doing on time there anyway?
We just hit 32.
32. Oh boy.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. So we may only get as far as K. Because look, I've just got done again. I've just got done again. Oh boy. Yeah, so it seems like I'll just play these 4 men and then we'll call it a shot. I think my 35 was very optimistic.
Oh, no worries. I mean, with the amount of, I mean, this is very. I think the games that I play are difficult compared to this. They're nothing. So this is a very, very challenging indeed, folks. Very challenging.
Right, that's exactly what I was trying to do the last couple of times. Please, God, tell me I'm not going to get done again. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. Sorry for going all Victor Meldrew here, but
No problem. As I say, I could never finish these games. I mean, I appreciate them, but they're so tricky.
Right, okay. Right. I'm literally trying. Oh no! When the boulder fell there, it made the monolith think that I was stuck, and it just turned into diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was literally going back up strat after back up strat after back up strat, and unfortunately, it did not work. Right, so that's one. Okay, that is not optimal. That's even less optimal, but we'll be okay. It's just a little wonky. It's still good. It's still good.
Again, I take it the route for this, or the sort of basic strategy for this, is something that you built up over a considerable period of time.
Yeah, it's trying to figure out where to put each one of these boulders. Right, they can go down. I'm not worried about them. Because I need to catch this now when this comes one more out. Just there. Oh, you are absolutely having a canary. Go! I have no words. I genuinely have no words.
No worries. It's incredibly difficult. Even doing this in the first place is very impressive, to be honest.
Yeah.
As I say, I could never even consider doing something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's challenging games and there's challenging games.
This is quite literally on the scale of challenge. It's insane. I mean, the first two games, I could very easily have ran in maybe 20-25 minutes. But I said to myself, no, we're going to do this one because I don't shy away from a challenge.
Definitely.
I actually quite enjoy a challenge.
Yeah. Well, I can only commend you for that because, like I said, I played the first game and never even beat that. So this is another level of insanity.
Oh, insanity is most certainly the word for it. I need to think through this very carefully now.
I'm sure we have other Spectrum runners in the community that would be interested in looking at this. I'm sure this is right at Ruffled Bricks' street, eh, Ruffled Bricks? Almost beat the first level on the NES. One level, yeah. No, the first game, yeah. No, it's a good game though. I mean,
come on! Close. Down. Right now, think. One, literally, get down. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. That could be okay. Could be okay. It's just a little released. It's still good. It's still good. It's still good. Right, where's that gonna hit? Where's? Oh, it's out! It's out here! Oh! Oh!
It's okay, friend. Just make sure you finish this level, and then we'll call it that.
I've got two, so it's two more or bust. What I'll do is I'll only connect diamonds. I've got 2 more goals at it now. I'll only
Keep on
collect
going, my
diamonds.
friend. We're ahead of schedule, so we have time.
Now, this could go down to 1 live very quickly. That was literally me doing that without having a clue where I was.
Nicely dodged.
It was a tilt. It was a bit of a tilt play. Okay, right. You can go and you can die there. Or you can die there or you can stay there. It's your choice, dude. Oh boy. I don't want to use this one. He's going to mess the whole thing up.
He's running around in there, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't mind if he blows. That's fine. That's actually fine. I've no problem with him there at all. He was actually good, little mouth. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You're not. You're going to deny me again. Escaped. Last shot. This is it now.
Yep.
And there is quite literally, there is no safe, guaranteed, replicable strat on the Spectrum. It's kind of, this is as safe and as close. Oh, you are joking me. Look at the monoliths.
Oh.
There was absolutely not a thing I could do there.
Oh no. Well, is this level more easier on the C64 version
Yes,
then?
much easier.
What did you do?
Much easier. So,
Right.
unfortunately, we hit game over. And I just want to show something very, very quickly before I go off. If you press up on the joystick, you can get to the higher difficulty levels, level 5. So I'm going to put on Cave A, level 5. And we're going to play that and we're going to see how far we can get in this level. Now, can somebody tell me how you can get out of here? There is actually, this is a level design that they put into this game.
Oh, okay. That's a good one, isn't it?
The only way to escape is by, and you don't even get to go out.
Yeah. Reminds me of the banyan tree.
So there we go. It ended in failure, but I hope it was at least slightly glorious.
It was brilliant. Thank you so much, Sparks, for participating in the event, for showing this game off at relatively short notice, I must also add. So thank you so much indeed.
Yeah,
really, really appreciate it.
I had a great time, and I've loved everything that has been on so far. I'm looking forward now to the next stream, the trapdoor. That's going to be really enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
There's
Yeah,
one other thing. We're showing off a certain amount of games. If we ever do another one of these, what hasn't an even bigger trapdoor is the Spectrum back catalogue. What's it, nearly 13,000 games?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other classics that we'll have to show off in the near future.
Yep, it would be brilliant. And thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. Right, we're going to quickly transition, folks, and we'll be right back with Trapdoor. Thank you again, Sparks. Really appreciate it.
And you're live.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Digital Duck, and we're doing Trapdoor today. This is a game based on a TV show, which will be technically the first time it's been based on an actual TV show, because the other two licensed games we've had have been based on comics, but they've both had TV shows of their own as well. I'm joined by Tiny Tim.
Hello there, folks.
And he's going to be helping me with commentary because I suppose he knows more about the show than I do. Maybe.
Well, I used to watch the show. This is an interesting show. This was a little bit before your time, Duck, but not by much. The show. The show was mid to late 80s, I think.
I think so. I have gone back and watched the show, of course, but it's it wasn't in my childhood particularly. Anyway, we're going to start, so I'm going to play in Super Burke, and the time will start when I select it. In 3, 2, 1, go. So, the first thing you'll notice is I'm playing as Burke here in blue, and we've got to perform a set number of things from the thing upstairs. This is actually a cooking simulator, and I think it's the...
Sorry.
It is. As you can see, the first thing we've got to prepare is a can of worms, and we're preparing all kinds of meals for the thing upstairs. He's very hungry, and that's basically Burke's job. We're not actually going to do exactly what he says at first, because what we're going to do is we're going to prepare everything for future meals. Because getting a can of worms is really easy. We just have to open the trapdoor and pick up the worms and put them in a can and send them up. But we can have we will have 3 other tasks to do after this, and they will be in an order which I don't know yet because it's randomly chosen. One of them is a bottle of Eyeball Crush, and so
I just love this game.
And so to get the bottle of Eyeball Crush, we've got these eyeball seeds, and we need to plant them in the pots. And we don't need to water them or anything. They just grow by themselves, and they will grow into giant eyeballs. But unfortunately, we won't get to see it happen because we're going to be too busy preparing some other stuff. I've picked up the basket there. That's not what I want. I want this packet. So this packet, I actually found out while experimenting with some stuff, is the only thing that will hold slimies, apart from the pot. I used to think that you're supposed to put them in the basket, but actually the basket doesn't hold them. Just this packet. So we're going to drop the packet here, and we're going to raise the crusher up a bit. Again, this is something I'm going to need later. We're going to do it now while we've got lots of time. You'll notice in the bottom right, I do have a timer. It goes down about once every 2 seconds, or 2 or 3 seconds, I suppose. And when it hits 0, I've lost. So as long as I don't let it hit 0, we should be fine. The first thing we need to do is get these slimies. Now the slimy movement is completely RNG, and this is the most annoying part of the run. Basically, when they're not visible, you can't actually pick them up. They don't exist in the water until their eyes pop up. So I kind of just have to mill about. Hope let's move up this end, see if I can get them away from the edge. I don't know if you can actually lure them or not. I think it's just random movement, but it makes me feel better about it. So there we go. We've got that one. So because this is the clever and overpaid category, this is the closest we've got to 100%. We need to do every one of the thing upstairs requests, and we have to do them all perfectly, which means he can't complain about anything.
Yep, you'll notice at the bottom there, we mentioned it. We've got that's your anger gauge there. Mr. Thing upstairs has a bit of a temper on him, and you fail if his anger reaches the far right-hand side there. He'll get angrier and angrier the longer he waits. But as Duck said, what they're doing here is they're setting up a lot of the tasks for later, so that they're using this first early easy task to prep everything else, and then that'll make the other tasks a bit quicker to do later.
Yeah, it's not going very well though. This slimy is not playing ball. Come on. He try and move. He's staying where the pot is. I want him to come over this way. So I can, because if I try to catch him where he is now, what will happen is I will keep picking up the pot. And that's just annoying. Come on. Come on. Come on. Nope. Nope. Yes. Nope. Nope. Okay. Almost. We almost had it. Come over this way. He's not going to come over this way. Come over this way. Move up and down here.
Yeah, as Duck was saying earlier on, the structure of the game here, there are a series of different tasks that you get ordered to do. The first one is always the can of worms, and then after that, the other three tasks, the three main tasks, will be randomized. This is for boiled slimies that we're dealing with here. We've got the eyeball crush, and then the eggs is the other one. And you'll see, and all of these items, all of these tasks do actually involve the ubiquitous trapdoor in one way or another.
Yes. And well, we've spent so long taking the getting the slimies that the eyeballs have all grown to their full sizes and fallen off the stalks. So we missed all of that in its entirety. But that's fine. We're still going to deal with that. So we need to put the slimies in this pot. So we're just going to tip them from up here. We've already pushed the pot into position earlier. Let's just drop that down there. You'll notice I'm dropping things very close to the wall, and that's because you can actually clip through the wall. If you pick up something like this, I can now, when I'm in the wall, I can move right and go through the wall, and that will save me having to climb up and down the stairs if I need to in the future. If I'm lucky, I won't need to use it because I'll never actually end up in this room again. But if there's if something goes wrong, I might end up in this room, and then I'll have to use it. So the reason I might end up in this room is because there is, in Superberg mode, and it's exclusive to Superberg mode, there is a chance that a ghost can randomly pop out of the trapdoor when you open it. And the ghost is probably the most annoying common enemy of the game. If it touches you, it will teleport you to a random part of the level of the game, and that can be, sometimes that can be helpful, but usually it's not helpful at all. It's usually just a massive pain. Right, so I've only got about 2 minutes here, so I'm going to go ahead and actually do this worm thing. And there's a ghost. Okay, so we need to get rid of the ghost. So the easiest way to do it is just to, well, the only way to do it is to get a worm and feed it to the ghost. I don't know why feeding the ghost a worm gets rid of it, but that's just how it is in this game.
Oh, Drut's about to eat your worms.
Yep.
Almost.
So Drut likes to make things a bit difficult by chasing the worms and eating them. Usually it's fine. Like if Drut is particularly annoying, what we can do is we can use the trapdoor to launch him up into the air. And that will keep him out of the way for a little while we can go ahead and get the worms.
Yeah, you can throw him down the trapdoor, can't you? But he comes back.
He will jump back out after a short while, yeah. So we're going to put the can here in the lift, and then we will send it up.
He's getting angry.
He's getting angry, but because we've given him the maximum complement of worms, he's happy. He says, "Well done."
Lovely worms.
I was about to say I can't do the voice, so you'll have to try that. And he gives us a few minutes or a few seconds to gather our thoughts. Well, I assume he's probably finishing off the meal.
Yeah, he's eating his worms.
And then he calls us, and this time he wants a bottle of Eyeball Crush. So which order these next 3 tasks in are completely random. But for a bottle of Eyeball Crush, what we're going to need is this bottle and this vat. So we previously put the eyeballs in this vat. So we need to crush them. And we're not going to use the bird, and we're not going to use that. That's the one we're going to use. So we're going to use this crusher, and I'm looking at where it's landing. because its land positions are random every time it comes out the trapdoor. But while it's out the trapdoor, it follows a consistent pattern. So if you look at where it lands the first time, you can actually sort of you can predict where it's going to be. I'm hoping that I get this right, because sometimes I get this wrong and I miss. I think I put it. If he's there, then just here. There we go. Okay.
What a way to get your eyeballs crushed. There you go.
Yep. So we wait for him to crush a full bottle's worth, and then we put that in the lift, and we go ahead and send it off. The crusher is just going to go and bounce around while we deal with this. So we send it up again. We've got full complement of eyeballs. We just get a simple cheers, which is I suppose that's the compliment we get for doing a good job of the eyeball crush.
Must have been good eyeballs, yeah. What are you going to do about the crusher? You put it back down the trapdoor?
We're going to send everything back down the trapdoor. We're also going to put this vat down there while we're here, because at the moment it's in the way, and we don't want to deal with this. While we're pushing that, the thing upstairs wants some fried eggs. We haven't done any preparation for the. Hang on, the worm is getting in our way. No, worm, go away. Okay, we haven't done any preparation for the fried eggs, and that's because we can't. Can we open this quickly enough? No, we can't. Okay. Open. There we go. And the ghost. Okay, of course there's a ghost. Everything is going badly here. That's fine.
Feed it another worm and it'll go away.
The issue is that we have to keep the trap door open while we push this vat in, and also we need to wait for the crusher.
Yeah. He'll end up jumping back in a minute, hopefully.
Hopefully. While we do that, we're going to go ahead and get this pan. This is the ghost is back out. Okay, so as you can see, we've ended up being
And
teleported.
drop the pan too, yeah.
Dropping the pan isn't an issue because we need to go and pick up again anyway. We need to get back to the trapdoor room. The having to go and get there is the annoying part. Let's hope we don't get spooked by the ghost again.
Yeah, Ghost's a real pain. I never played this game on the Superbook difficulty, so I never had to deal with a ghost. Oh, there's the crusher about to go. There he goes.
Yep, I don't want the crusher. I don't want that. I want the bird. Let's get the bird out, and then we'll deal with the ghost. Because if we deal with the ghost first, then when we open the trapdoor for another creature, we're likely to get the ghost again. Come on, ghost, come here. There we go. Okay, so we need to get the bird to lay an egg, as Boney is helpfully telling us.
This is my favourite bit. This is so funny.
And yeah, that's how we do it. We're just launching not Burke. We're launching Boney. The general idea is that it's supposed to. Okay, the bird's not going to lay. The general idea is you're supposed to shove something up its cloaca to get it to lay. The game is a bit lenient with its hit detection for this though, so it doesn't always look exactly like that. But basically, hitting the bird will force it to lay an egg. Its eyes will grow bigger here, and here we go. It's decided it's going to lay an egg right here. So we're going to drop the pan underneath it, and we're going to wait. We're going to make sure it lands in the pan, because I have had times where I've been off screen, and the egg has decided it's not going to land in the pan, even though the pan is directly underneath it. It's just going to splat on the floor.
It isn't intended to use Boney, by the way, here.
Yeah, I'm using Boney because he's closer. That's the only reason. Like I have to go into the other room to get the bullet. No, not on the. Don't put it on the stove. Not yet. Okay. Right, that's 2 eggs. By the way, if we miss an egg, technically the run is over, because this is the 100% category. But yeah. if it happens, I'm just going to carry on and pretend it's not over, and we just won't have the best score that we could have had, basically. So we got the pan here. We're going to go.
can he lay the egg? Can you be holding the pan when he lays the egg, or do you have to drop it down?
You can be holding the pan. You can actually catch the egg in midair as well. You don't need to be don't need to have the pan, but it requires a bit of timing. The main reason I dropped the pan is because it means I can head over to the left hand side of the screen to get there in time to launch the trapdoor again. So I will actually hold the pan here because this is the last egg we need.
Yeah. If I remember rightly, this poor bird has had enough now, and it goes and flutters over the trapdoor, doesn't it? Until you put it back in.
So it will go over the trapdoor, and we're going to open the trapdoor and let it go back in. Unfortunately, Boney is going to have to follow it down. Sorry, Boney.
Ah!
Also, a ghost has appeared, so we need to.
Bye-bye, Boney.
There we go. There's the ghost. So while the eggs are on the pan cooking, we're going to push this pot over to the right hand side, and that's because we're going to need it for the boiled slimies. We can do this pretty much any time, but since we've got to wait for the boiled eggs the fried eggs to fry anyway, this is just a good time to do it. So push this across. As you can see, the pan is now red hot, literally. And if we try and pick it up, we will automatically drop it because it's hot. So we're going to take it off the pan and we're going to leave it there just to cool down for a bit. By the time we get back to it, it should be, there we go. Reasonable temperature to hold.
Yeah. Smoking.
Gonna put it in there. I hope he likes burnt eggs.
I don't think he wants to know where they came from or how you obtained them, but hey, he probably doesn't care. As long as they taste good.
Yep, and he says, well done, Duck, which is some positive reinforcement.
Okay, coming towards the end now.
Yep, so the last thing we need to prepare for the thing upstairs is going to be the boiled slimies. To do that, we need something that will boil things. Unfortunately, we can't put it on the stove. The stove is too small. That's not what I want. That's nothing. That's also nothing.
Here.
So
You're sending worms into orbit as well, there.
Yeah, that's fine. Here we go. This is what I want. So we're going to let that up. We're going to close the trapdoor, and we're going to try and run past it. But I think I'm too slow. Yep, I'm too slow.
I don't like this thing. This thing always.
Okay, so we're back in here.
Frightens me.
Oh, I can do the I can do this. So if I pick this up and then, okay, not that. If I pick this up and drop it again, I can walk through this wall. And that will save me some time going up the stairs and go back down the stairs. So while I'm here, we're going to go along here. We're probably going to have to risk a 50-50 chance here. Yep, we did it. Okay, so there's a 50% chance you can just walk straight through the thing there. So let's push this and wait for him to come and... Okay, that was not what he was supposed to do. He's supposed to walk up to you and then shoot you with fire, but instead he just decided to blindside me from the side.
Oh.
Okay. That's fine, we're just going to do this again.
This is my least favourite of the tasks, definitely.
Okay, and I'm straight into him again. That's fine. That one saved us some time. We got some good RNG on that teleport. Right, so we're going to stand here, and hopefully he's actually going to come and shoot at us this time instead of flanking us from the side. There he goes. So we move out the way. He shoots the pot, heats up the pot, and then we push the pot into the lift.
Now you've got a slight problem of a nasty flame-throwing thing to deal with.
Yep. Well, luckily we've got something we've already prepared. So here's something we made earlier.
Yep.
In the room just to the right of here, it has one defining characteristic, and that's a big crusher. And you might have noticed that the big heating thing will actually stop just before it shoots a flame out at us. And we can use that timing to our advantage. Let's go ahead. We need to stand at this spot right here. And we're just going to stand here and wait. Oh, we're told to tidy up. So we've done all of our recipes. We just need to tidy up, and there goes the heater.
Squish.
So we're going to raise that because we need that for one more thing. We come down here, and you'll notice all of the pots have lost their plants again, and that's because we can now pick them up. So we're going to move this basket out of the way. We're going to put it somewhere where we can actually pick things up. We're going to take this pot, we're going to put it in the basket. I don't quite know how that works because the pots are the same size as the basket, but again, this is game logic.
At least it prevents you from having to move each one individually, I suppose. I always thought you had to do that.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to, but the basket will hold absolutely anything you put in it. So we just use the basket. Unfortunately, the other things we need to clear up are also Drut and the worms. If either Drut or the worms are out of the trapdoor, or the ghost actually, the ghost is also one of the things. If any of those are outside the trapdoor, the game will say, nope, you're not tidy yet. You need to do some more tidying up. So what we're going to do is we're going to hope that this launches Drut into the air. There we go. We're also going to launch this worm. We're going to pick up this worm and wait for a ghost to come out. There's the ghost. We want to close the trapdoor while we're holding the worm. Hopefully before the ghost comes back out again, and we're clear.
Does Boney count as well? Or I know he's down the trapdoor anyway.
Boney doesn't count. You can keep Boney. But we don't keep him anyway.
Time's coming up, I take it?
Yep, we've now been given our wages, and it's in a big safe. So we need to open the safe. Now this crusher here, if we've raised it too high, it will completely crush the safe. What we need to do is we need to tap it at a low height, and then we need to raise it very slightly. And then time will end when we hit the safe a second time, which will be in 3, 2, 1, go. Or stop. Time. And we've gotten our wages, which is 20,000 points apparently.
That was brilliant. Absolutely loved that. Amazing fun game, that.
And then just to confirm, as a Super Berk, I rate you as clever and overpaid. And that's why the category is called clever and overpaid.
Fantastic.
That's everything. I forget what game is next. You know
Yazzie, I think.
Zazzy, is it?
Yazzie?
Oh, that'll be fun to watch. Stick around for that.
Alright, if we're all good and ready, I'll transition you out. go. We're alive.
Excellent. Hello again, gang. It is me, Ruffled Bricks, the third appearance on this occasion, and I'm going to do a speed run of a modern ZX Spectrum game. This is Yazzie from 2019, a game by Denis Khrushchev. Yeah, we're going to do all 20 levels of this game as quickly as we possibly can. The timer will start when I take control of Yazzie, so I will give you the cue of when the timer starts. But let's just start the game, and time starts now. Okay, so this marshmallow looking dude at the top here is Yazzie. He is a gold hunter. The object of this game is to collect all of the gold from this mansion that he's ended up in. True to old Spectrum games, it is light on plot, but heavy on gameplay. So it's kind of a Lode Runner clone in terms of like its inspirations. But as you see, we have enemies that we have to avoid in every level. The enemies are heavily RNG influenced. There's a little bit of an exception to that, which I'll explain when we get there. That bridge that we operated there, that's a recurring feature throughout the game. When you see those arrows going across, the enemies can also operate them themselves. You cannot, though, withdraw a bridge once you have activated it. Now, you notice the enemies have a damage boost when they first spawn in the level, and we're going to use that in a couple of levels to our advantage to actually get certain items behind certain enemies whilst they're spawning. In each level, I've got what I like to call my pre-spawn route, which is the route that I will take every time I do it without fail, just to try and get as much done as possible before the enemies start moving. Because when they start moving, they can be quite unpredictable. Not so much there, as they have spawned directly above a fire pit, and they both fall in. When that happens, they will then respawn at their starting positions. And again, it takes about 5 seconds before they start moving. This is the first level with mines, by the way. You may have noticed some explosive devices that we've been setting off there. Mines take 5 seconds to detonate. They don't actually cause any harm to Yazzie or the enemies, but they will provide a player significant effect on later levels, as you'll see. Now, this is the first real run killer of the game, or at least the first one that can give you grief. I like to call it the wonky tridents, because that's what the ladders look like to me. The bottom section is particularly arduous because there's a lot of space there where you can get trapped by the enemies. Fortunately, we had a pretty clear cycle on that one. Now, one thing you might have noticed about Yazzie, if you've been paying attention, is that he's not jumped so far, and that's because he actually physically can't in this game. However, in some of the levels, this one included, there are warp planes that will get Yazzie from the bottom of the level to the top. So that features quite heavily in this. It's kind of reminiscent of quite a lot of old games like Bubble Bobble and that sort of thing in terms of its dynamic. There we are, managed to get all the gold bars there in 2 laps on each side. And here's another one where the pre-spawn route is very important there. Went round the back there to grab that gold bar there. And here we are. Now we have to do 2 whole laps of this level just because of those 2 floating gold bars at the bottom. And I've gone this way just because the enemy movements here seem to be... Okay, so they've pushed me back this way instead. Let's see, can we get up this ladder? Are you going to let me, son? Are you going to let... Oh, my... Oh, this might actually... I think this is a reset. Oh, there's our first reset, gang. We actually got cordoned off. That is a very rare thing to happen in this level. And I probably could have avoided it with slightly better movement. So I will very much take the rap on that one. Here we go again, setting this bridge out. And off we go to the left here. Drop it down, drop it down. There we are. And then we got the other. Just realised I've forgotten that gold bar at the top there, so better go back up for that. So we got a 2.5 lap version of this level. Now here we go. One thing to note about the pickaxes, by the way, you get, as you can see, they will enable you to make holes in the solid ground beneath you. And some levels, like this one, you have to use all of the pickaxes to be able to actually complete it. On other occasions, you have spare pickaxes that you can use. So this one here, we have to just do this slightly snaky kind of like route down there. And those ladders, by the way, are a useful distraction for the enemies. So when I said the enemies were RNG heavy, the one way you can manipulate them in this game is by standing on the same platform as them. And if they see you, then they will usually start running directly towards you in your direction. And so you can actually use that to your advantage to manipulate them into going into where you want them to go. That was very, very clutch there on this. Basically just Escher's staircase of a level here, which again, massive warp plane at the top, and we just keep on going down the stairs until we get to the very end, using the 2 pickaxes there to get the last 2 gold bars. Now this level, I want the top enemies to stay, bad boys. Back to the kennel for you. So what happens there is that if those enemies stay on that top platform whilst you are going down the pyramid there, then you can actually do this entire level in 1 lap. However, because they got in the way, then I had to go back up the ladder for a second helping. Just shuffling my chair there. This level I like to call the crankshaft because it is very reminiscent, to me at least, of a level in the original Lemmings games, which is tricky level 30, I believe. And again, quite a difficult one to navigate this because the warp plane means that the enemy movements can take a little bit of getting used to. 2 of them have gone to our right, which is great. And this is a spare pickaxe here. I'm actually not using it yet. I'm going to use it now. There we are, just a shortcut to there. Then we can get the last gold bar from the left there. And here we are on level 13, the first of 2 levels that I like to call the YOLO pyramids in the game, because basically you pretty much have to YOLO this level every time. The enemy movements are so unpredictable that you basically just have to play it by ear in terms of where they go. Now we've actually got a fairly decent lot this time around. I'm going to go around to the left side to get the last 2 gold bars, and these gold bars here, you have to get them last, because otherwise if you dig down into there before you've got all the other gold bars, then you will not be able to get back out. Here's the other YOLO pyramids. This one is slightly less YOLO-y in a way, because it generally boils down to, do you do the level clockwise or anti-clockwise? In this instance, we've got it clockwise, and this is actually really good RNG for this level. The enemies are staying well out of our way, and these 2 optional pickaxes there, I use them just to get the last 6 gold bars there quickly. Here we are on level 15. This is a selection of bridges, and we have to wait for the enemies to operate certain bridges here. Now, first thing we need to do is we have to get a pickaxe before we drop below the next level down. And that's because there's a warp plane in the middle, as you may have noticed, and we need that in order to be able to get back to the top so that we can actually complete this level. Grabbing as many gold bars as I can before we end up dropping back to the top. And this is a pretty good haul on this first lap so far. We might actually get a rare 2-lap version of this level. Okay, so this is going to have to wait a little bit here because the enemies are very left aligned at the moment. So what are you doing? What are you doing, lad? Okay, I'm going for it. Here we go. And I'm grabbing that spare pickaxe there just because it means I can. Oh, come on! There we go. I can actually chop through that block there and drop straight onto the gold bar there. This level 16 is pretty much the equivalent to the bank in Manic Miner, in that it is a really surprisingly easy level for this part of the run. As you can see, lots of space, lots of ladders, and the only real sort of speed runny sort of strat we have for this is that I start with the left first because you can get more done before the enemies really start moving. This level, on the other hand, is much more tricky. So only 2 enemies to worry about, but much more limited space compared to the others. And the mines are back, as you can see. And the problem with the mines, as I say, they take 5 seconds to detonate. And because of that, then there is a danger that, as you can see, the enemy is dropping into this shaft here, following us down. Fortunately, what I did, though, was I got the pickaxes there so that I could actually circumvent the mines to get down to the bottom quicker, meaning I only really had to wait for that last one to explode. So level 18 here, there are 12 pickaxes in total in this level, and you need 11 of them in total to be able to complete the level, which means you have to grab one of the top corner ones, which I have just done, so that is good. We don't need to worry about the pickaxe in the top left corner now. I just need to grab this one and the one just above me here. Enemies are closing in a little bit. running around in my general direction. Now let's see, what's this guy going to do? There we go, he's gone to the right, which means, and I don't need to go to the corner there, so I can just slink past the enemy there and grab the gold bars all there. Now level 19 used to be pretty difficult, but we have a nice pre-spawn route which I have just fluffed, so I'm going to do a quick reset on that. So we have to set this bridge out first of all. If you drop down before you set at least one of the bridges. Oh, and I was a little bit slow there, so that's failed. Let's just see if we can get this right. Because again, RNG a little bit here, so we do have to... Yeah, there we go. Okay, we managed to just sneak past there. So the idea there is we grab all of the pickaxes from the bottom section there, whilst the enemies are still really in their spawning phase. And by doing that, the rest of the level is usually more or less free, because you can just sort of run around and grab all the stuff you need without the enemies being too much of a problem. And here is the final level of the game, and this is RNG hell, this one. It's probably about 70% RNG, 30% decision making in terms of how well you do on this level. There's loads of mines, again, as you can see, and you have to set them off far enough away from the enemies so that you can actually drop down before they get to you. Now, dropping down to the bottom here, and in terms of the rest of this, so the enemies on the platform below, we want them to drop off this platform ideally. They're sort of slightly spaced out, so this is going to be a little bit tricky to actually get past them. So one of them's dropped off. That is a good boon for us. And just setting this mine off here, it should drop down. Okay, so the enemy has dropped down onto that platform there. So they are now sort of in the way, but not as badly as before. And both of them have dropped down to the bottom there. So we're just waiting for this one on left. I'm just going to move slightly further this way. Oh, hello. And one of them is dropping down to the bottom, which means we might have to deal with him in a moment. And yes, we... Oh, no, he's dropped into the fire. Excellent. God bless this variable RNG for the enemies here. And he's respawning on the top right. That's good. So, oh, and we might be... We've got a clear run, and oh, here we go. That is the last gold bar, and time. And that is the pund of the game. There we are. That was Yazzie, a excellent, I would say, modern ZX Spectrum game, and one that definitely deserves more love. Great fun. Doesn't take too long to complete. What was the time on that?
11:42.
11:42. Excellent. All right, not bad. Current record on that is just above 10 minutes. So if you think you can beat that, do give it a go. But that's it for me for today, and we've got quick snacks up next, I believe. So look forward to that.
2, 1, and you are live.
Hello again, folks. Welcome back to the UKSG's The Next Spectrum Marathon. I'll be closing things off for day 2 here with a quick snacks, and alongside me I have a Digital Duck.
Hello again, times 10.
Yep, and we're just going to get straight into this one. It's a fun little game, this. A bit different from the game you saw me play earlier on, so I'll just get started. I'll give a countdown for time, and I'll let Duck explain the game when we get started. So, time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so this is a spin-off of the Dizzy series. This is the second arcade-style spin-off. It's based quite heavily on Pengo, but it does have its own quirks that make it a bit unique. The basic story behind the game is that some of the Yoke folk have formed their own band called the Dizzy Mob, and they've all been kidnapped by Zax because they're arguing, and they've been sent away to places that are kind of characteristic of their personalities. So we're dealing first with Denzel, who's in the Land of Ice, and that's because he's such a chill dude that he's become completely frozen.
Yep. Just clear this first section here. This game is very interesting. As I say, it's considerably different from the sort of arcade sort of platformer Dizzy titles, and I like this game. Also, one thing to point out here, I always mention it, but the music in this game is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it is very, very good indeed.
Yeah, this came out about the same time as Magic Land. I think it has the same composer. I'm not entirely sure on that. I'm sure Two Spaces will correct me on that in the chat. But it's just one of the games with absolutely amazing music.
This is one of my favourite Dizzy games, even though obviously, we had a slight mishap there. That was what happens sometimes is when you're pushing the blocks, what happened was the enemy moved at the same time I pushed the block, and the enemy phased through the block. That does happen from time to time. That was a very unfortunate occurrence of it, but would you like to explain these bonus stages, please, Duck?
Yeah, so you might notice that with every other stage is a bonus stage. Once you complete the normal stage, you go into a bonus stage. In the bonus stage, you can't actually stop moving. So you choose up, down, left, or right, and then you move until you hit a wall of some kind, and then you can move again. If you happen to get stuck into an infinite loop, so you're walking in a direction and there's no wall, the bonus stage will just end. And we do that sometimes because it's faster than actually completing the stage normally. Because we're not interested in actually finishing the stages legitimately. We're just interested in getting them over as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Sometimes it is faster to fail a stage, and sometimes it's faster to complete a stage. In this case, it's basically impossible to fail a stage. So the quickest way is just get through it as quickly as you can and finish it. And once you do 5 stages, you then do 5 bonus stages, and after every 5 main stages and their bonuses, you get a rescue. So in this case, this is the last level here of Ice, and we will rescue Denzel, and then we will move on. This is one of my favourite levels in the game because it's probably one of the easiest. You'll notice a series of power-ups also that pop up. And these do various things, but the good thing for a speedrun perspective is that the pop-ups are predefined. They'll always appear in the same order and in the same place to start with. And that's really useful, as you'll see in later levels when we get to them.
Yeah, it differs. It's different from other versions of the game where the power-ups are actually completely random. Here, they're more predictable.
Yeah, it makes this game... I've tried running the Amiga version of this game as well, and I definitely prefer this version. This version is definitely more my thing. Right, okay, so we're now on to the Land of Clouds. Dylan is, he's a bit high, so that's where Dylan has ended up, which I always thought was mildly amusing. Oh dear, I just got bead again there. That's really not good. That's 2 deaths early on, which is going to cause problems. I do get extra lives at certain points though, so hopefully I can manage. Both of those deaths were just a bit unfortunate, really, rather than actual mistakes. So the enemy movement in this game is effectively RNG. Again,
Yeah,
I don't know if we'll talk about that, Doug.
Yeah, so we're not actually sure whether it's actually RNG or if there's some way of manipulating the enemies, but there doesn't seem to be. We think it's just random. Either fixed seed random like the birds in Chucky Egg, or just completely random, different every time. We don't know.
Yeah,
It's basically the answer.
yeah, it is a bit of a pain, to be honest. And I have made a right botch of that mission. I was thinking of doing it a different way, and that was not ideal. Right. Now I've got an extra life there now. Every 10,000 points you get an extra life. Bit of a regular theme for some of these games. I think Manic Miner's had that. I think Chucky Egg's had that. I think this has had that.
Yeah, it was a common thing for arcade games in the 80s. Like even Pac-Man, you had a extra life at 10,000 points.
Right. Okay, I've actually discovered a new strat for this. Doing this the other day, and that's doing that rather than completing the level. It's actually quicker to do it that way. But no, this is a fun little game. I like this game. It's very cheap and cheerful. It was a budget title, but it's a fantastic example of what the Spectrum would do. It's relatively late on the Spectrum's lifespan as well. In fact, this was 92, I think. So that's like 10 years after the Spectrum came out. So it's yeah, quite late on, but a very beautiful example, graphic-wise and sound-wise, of what the Spectrum can do. Would you like to talk about the score bug on this one, Doug?
Well, it's not
Kind of a
not a
bug.
score bug actually. It's a lives bug. If you do particularly well at this game, and you get enough score to earn extra lives, and you don't lose any lives, you can actually make the lives override. Or I don't know what exactly it's overriding, but basically you get too many lives, and the game will crash trying to draw them, and it will just end your game. So you're punished for doing too well.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen here. I've already died a few times, so we're safe from that one. But,
Well, we're not going for the score either, so it's not something that really happens in the speedrun.
yeah, I mean the interesting thing you may have noticed on the main levels, you can actually perfect each level by getting all the items in the correct order. You'll notice the first one of them will flash a multicolor when you first start the level, and that is technically the item. It's the top left strawberry there. Technically, you should get them in that order because you get maximum points for doing so. Very similar to Bomb Jack, but no, we want to go fast, so that's not something we will be doing. I got very lucky there with that mouse. Right, okay. So we're on to round 3 here, which is Cuckoo Land. Poor old Grand Dizzy is in Cuckoo Land. And you got cuckoo clocks, and like I say, the theming of these levels is very good. I love the graphics for this, and I just think it's a fun little game. We did mention that this is one of a series of games, a series of spin-offs. Would you like to talk about the other spin-offs, please, Duck, quickly?
Yeah, so I know this is Tim's favourite of the spin-offs.
Yeah.
I prefer Fast Food, which is it's based quite heavily on Pac-Man, but instead of the food being static, the food also moves. But it has some interesting levels, and again, great music as always. And then there are also some other arcade spin-offs which are somewhat less popular, let's say.
Yeah, not quite.
We have Panic Dizzy or Dizzy Panic, depending on which of the titles you go by, which is sort of just a matching colors game. You have shapes dropping in from the top, and you have to match them with patterns at the bottom. You've also got Dizzy Down the Rapids, which is like what you'd call now like an endless runner style game. And you have Bubble Dizzy, which is Bubble Dizzy, and we're not going to say any more about that.
Yeah. The quality, apart from fast food and quick snacks, Planet Dizzy isn't bad, but the quality of them outside of fast food and quick snacks is a bit variable.
Panic Dizzy is at least enjoyable, I think. It doesn't have any real staying power compared to quick snacks and fast food.
Because these spin-offs came out fairly quickly. Because Dizzy, when the first Dizzy game came out, it was actually took quite a while for it to take off in terms of sales. It was only when Treasure Island Dizzy came out, I believe, that it was really. I don't know how much you know about the sort of sales history of them, Duck, but Treasure Island was the one that was in the charts for months and months and months and was really a big seller. The original wasn't a particularly big seller at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and Treasure Island, it kind of shows by the way that the first game wasn't ported to very much. It was CPC, Spectrum, and Commodore 64, but it wasn't until the second game that it ended up on things like the Amiga and that series of platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the series started to really take off from Treasure Island Dizzy, and then after Treasure Island Dizzy, you had Fantasy World Dizzy, and that was the last game the Oliver twins, who actually created Dizzy in the first place, actually worked on themselves. Certainly in terms of the programming side. Big Red Software did the later ones.
Yeah, the Oliver twins were still quite heavily involved in Magic Land as well, but they were more like, I think, just design, and it was Big Red Software doing the programming.
Okay.
And then it wouldn't be until Wonderful Dizzy that they came back to that role.
Yep. They did a lot of work on Wonderful Dizzy, which we'll be seeing tomorrow. Hopefully, that'll be an interesting one. That'll be a challenge for me, because that game is still, it's a brand new game really, so it's going to be fun. Right, okay, this level's quite tricky. We're on to the dungeon now. We're on to Zax's dungeon, which is the last island, last set of levels. We have to rescue Daisy, who's stuck in the dungeon. At least she's not super enlarged this time, like earlier on. She's just regular size. But we still have to rescue her, so we're going to do this. And we're also coming up to the glitch as well here. So what we'll do when we get to that, I'll get Duck, I'll concentrate on getting the glitch, hopefully get it right, and Duck can explain what's going on with the glitch. As I say, I find this set of levels quite tricky, because you've got the glitch involved here. Glitch saves a good bit of time as well, though. It's a fun little glitch, and it's one I discovered myself as well when running this game, so it's, something I'm quite proud of. Right, okay.
It's interesting that a game like this has a glitch as well, because it seems like it's fairly solid most of the time.
Yeah, it is. It's fairly well programmed on the whole, and it's only this one real glitch that we've discovered, and I just discovered it really through playing. I was literally sitting on stream just playing it and just running it, and discovered the glitch, and then we refined it. So I'll let you explain exactly what's going to happen here, Duck.
Yeah, so basically, if you look at the level design of this level, you'll see there are bananas that are behind blocks, and there's no real way of accessing them. So we need to either wait for the blocks to disappear, which they do over time, or we can get a power up which will turn all of the blocks into fruit. If we collect that power up, I think while we're pushing a block, is that right? Or
normally what you have to do is you have to run into the block. There has to be a block next to it. I don't even know if I can set it up here now, because we got the most atrocious pattern. I'll try it, but I don't think it's going to work. Oh, there we go, got it. I'm a bit concerned about that enemy being right next to me, but we did manage to get it. So this is what we call the blue banana glitch. If you'd like to continue explaining how it works.
So basically what happens is if you push a block while you are collecting the item, it will try to turn all the blocks into fruits, including the one you're pushing, and it will enter this glitch state where you actually spawn bananas behind you as you walk. And because Dizzy is blue, the bananas are also blue. And we just have endless blue bananas, I guess. Because there's the way the game decides whether you've beaten a level or not is it counts the number of bananas you've collected, and it will calculate when you pick up the power up to turn all of the boxes, all of the things into fruits. It will say, okay, so you need to collect this number of bananas now, and then we collect the bananas we spawn rather than collecting the ones that are in the level, and that saves us a whole bunch of time.
Getting very, very dicey on lives here. But that was incredibly, incredibly close. That was very nearly rip, because I've not got any lives left, so we're literally right on the last couple of levels. So it would be very, very embarrassing to die now. So let's just see if we can get through it. This is the last level. So let's hope I can do this without any major mishaps. Right. Just going to squash him to get him out of my way. Here we go. Right, there we go then. There's no fear of failure here. Right, we're going to come. Time's coming up. Time is coming up once we see Daisy on the screen. So we will just be, and time is now. And there you go. That is quick snacks. We have rescued the Oak Folk. We've rescued the Dizzy Mob. And yeah, that will be us for the evening. So thank you very much again. Duck, thank you to Ruffled Bricks and Sparks, and also the amazing Tricro for all the technical assistance. And thank you to everyone for watching. I hope everybody has enjoyed our... That skeleton is very disturbing, Sparks. I totally agree. Everybody enjoyed our evening. So do not... Just remember, folks, that we are back tomorrow. We have some more Dizzy. We've got... What else have we got tomorrow? We've got some...
Jet Set Willy 2.
Yep.
Wonderful Dizzy, Jumping Jupiter, A Day in the Life, Dizzy, The Ultimate Cartoon Adventure, Fantasy World Dizzy, and Manic Miner.
Oh yes, we've got a Manic Miner race tomorrow as well. So we've got some very good stuff coming tomorrow. So thank you so much. And yeah, we'll go away. But thank you again, folks, and thank you, Doc.